raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice, raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice, raise your power, yeah. This is our last chance to leave it all behind. Raise your voice, raise your power, yeah.
Welcome on, welcome all, and welcome to the TD2L Division S. I forgot which week this is. This is like number 6, I believe, Grand Finals. My name is PhiNick, joined by Rada, and apologies for the late start on the stream, unfortunately. I thought that previous series was going to go to a Game 3. It did not, and Return of A and B have picked up the Hoodwink and the Leshrac with the Marcy. First pick from Sand King Gomez. They are on the dire side. The bands thus far pretty meta with the Enigma, the Undying, the Crystal Maiden, and the Lone Druid. Rada, why don't you take us through the teams?
Take you through the teams. I know very, very little about these teams. I'm going to be very honest with you. This was a kind of a last-second plug-in kind of deal. And with the LD2L season, I've not been able to cast a whole lot of the Dota 2 League. I will say AMB is obviously a pretty top-tier mid-lane player, and he is the namesake of the Radiant team in this draft. He's played on teams with my regular co-caster Crucial. He's a very, very, very good player. And I would imagine that this Leshrac will be in his hands, but that is, of course, the Lesh is, we saw it all at TI, right? The Lesh went in the off lane. I believe there was a game the Lesh went into the carry. Like, we're just back to the days of the Disco Pony.
Yep, and as we all know from watching TI, it is the Bloodstone Rush, the item that only Leshrac buys and no one else. That makes him so powerful, and why I've been spamming offlane Leshrac in my pubs.
It's so interesting to me that like the Bloodstone only is OP on Leshrac.
Well, so it's one of those things where there are other heroes that, in theory, could make use of Bloodstone, namely anyone who would normally use Eternal Shroud, right?
Right.
But like the Eternal Shroud buyer of days of yore, not really that long ago, was Bristleback, but now Bristleback has this kind of like just Ags, BKB, ignore the regen kind of build, so he doesn't even buy an Eternal Shroud and therefore really wouldn't make use of something like a Bloodstone. But it is fun to buy in unranked pubs on that particular hero as a Bristleback spammer myself. Either way, Lina, Visage, Lich, and Sniper have been banned out by these teams in the second rotation of bans. We have 2 more to go for the second rotation. As you said, imagine that Leshrac going into the mid lane, but I'd love to see a 3 with Leshrac. It is one of my favorite picks currently on the draft, and ones I used to some very good effect in TI.
I'll be very interested to see how the rest of Sand King Gomez's draft fills out, right? Because they used one of the most powerful picks in the game on taking the Nyx Assassin, and it's the most powerful card that they have in their deck, being the first pick team. Though taking the Marcy at the 5, that totally makes sense. And I mean, you can see the merit behind the Nyx Assassin, right? He has the mana burn, he has the Spike Carapace, so he's able to kind of ruin the plans of the Hoodwinked and the Leshrac if they're trying to do some combos and stuff like that. The Leshrac, he has a bunch of ambient damage, so he can't really control to whom the damage goes to. So that's kind of a free stun setup. But it is interesting to me that they decided to use the 8 pick on the Nyx Assassin. But that's a pretty heavy burden to carry. He's got to have a very good game.
Yeah, and obviously he has the mana burn for the Leshrac as well. Does dissuade some other picks like the Dawnbreaker potentially, which has not been banned, but we have seen being used to some effect all over Amateur. Instead, it'll be the Silencer pick here for Return of AMB, most likely going in that 5 position. Interesting that they've picked it here. This is something that not a whole lot of teams have been picking, except as a counter into the Enigma, but I think he's a very strong hero at the moment. We'll see how well it goes in the hands of the Return of AMB.
Yep, Puppy fared pretty well on this hero. I ended up falling asleep before the grand finals. Saw the result and figured it wasn't worth the watch. But the last statistic that I saw on that was, I believe Puppy was 5-1 on the hero throughout the TI group stages and playoff round. So, and I mean, of course, naturally it is kind of that counter to the Enigma, but it is a hero that just it throws a cog, it jams up the gears is what it does, right? Like this Marcy, she's very slippery, she can get out super well, and now maybe you can just use that silence and shut her down and kill her. This Bat Rider, he blinks in. If you're quick on the fingers, you might be able to get the silence off before he's able to lasso. Like there's lots of things that you can do with this Global Silencer hero. And I mean, also, I have seen some people mess around and play him in a core role, so that's something that is still kind of a flex option. I do agree with you though. I think it's more inclined to go in the 5 role.
Yeah, and that Global Silence, if nothing else, always forces a BKB buy from the enemy team, and it also forces them to hold BKBs for Global Silence. If they use the BKB beforehand, Global Silence pierces spell immunity,
Yep.
and then all of a sudden their BKB ends up being pretty useless at dealing with the Silencer in the fights. Good to have on your team, especially if you have a Leshrac as well. Now, Return of AMB does need some right-click damage. They also need something a little bit tankier. Obviously, Leshrac is very tanky with that Bloodstone Rush. However, probably looking at some sort of Blink Initiator right now for the 3 position for the Return of AMB.
Yeah, I reckon this really will kind of tip their hand a little bit as to where this Leshrac is going.
Gonna be Legion.
And the LC. So I do believe this is a mid Lesh. There was a team, I forget whom now exactly. They ran LC in the carry.
Yeah, and you can run LC carry at the moment. I like it a lot better as a Blink Initiating 3, but we are in kind of one of these metas where 5s and 1s need to work together to try to win their lane and not just go even in it. And in those types of scenarios, having someone who is so lane dominant, like a Legion Commander with not a whole lot of natural counters in lane, does look a lot more attractive, although I doubt they want to lane it into the Nyx Assassin. Actually, it's probably going to land into the Nyx Assassin if it's the 3, because the Nyx is the 5 here, because they have Marcy. There we go.
You know, man, with these high level teams, it's they're all able to play these heroes, and the thing about Dota, right, is Dota is a conceptual game. The bitch of it, right, pardon my French, is that there's 1,000,000,001 different concepts that apply to this game and are a moving board at all times. But like that's why people in pubs and stuff like that are still able to execute things like support Kunkka. I'm still able to play for Kunkka because I understand the concepts that worked back when it was meta, when people would do the because the Tidebringer damage worked on denying creeps. They got rid of that, but the rest of the kit still applies. So if you know the concept that you're trying to execute and then you execute said concept, you're in a good position to win the game. But so really with these high level players, one, they know 100% unequivocally the concept they're trying to execute, and two, they have the skill level to play just about any of these heroes. And I mean, we saw Sven, who hadn't really been touched for a long time. Suddenly he's a 4, a 5. Like it's because they know what they're trying to do and they have the skill to back it up. It's just sometimes there's a monkey wrench thrown in from the other side, and you just can't get over that mountain.
Yep, Naga Siren PL being banned out by Sanken Gomez, so taking out some of these very common mana burn position ones that build that diffusal blade. A Return of A and B banning the Beastmaster and the Invoker, as they think this Bat Rider could be 3, could be mid, depending on where the Shadow Fiend ends up going. But Sankangonas, they have to play their hand right now. They're picking either a 2 or a 1. They know their lane matchup is going to be a Leshrac or a Legion Commander in one of those lanes, and they opt for the Weaver. So this is a 3 Bat Rider and a 2 Shadow Fiend. Weaver filling out the 1 role for Sam Ken Gomez.
Very interesting. I saw the Nagabe and I didn't see the PL, and I was thinking to myself that like they really do not have an answer for an illusion hero, but they realize the same thing, and they just get rid of pretty much all of them.
Yeah, take out. I mean, you can still play something like a CK or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think I've seen a whole lot of CK ones in the current patch, so I doubt we're going to see it. I do think Return of AMB, though, probably looking for a position 1 here. And what they're going to do? They're going to pick the Meepo. So this is actually either a 1 Legion Commander or a 1 Leshrac, and it is AMB on the Leshrac. So is Napkin their 1 is the real question, because I don't know if this is a 1 Meepo or a 1 LC, but I would guess it's the 1 LC here.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time, I wonder if they don't try to do some sort of maybe help the Meepo get off the ground, and then you just kind of leave the Meepo in a lane and let him get the solo XP, and then you just can kind of fuck with this trike with this 3-man with the Hoodwink, the Silencer, and the LC, get dual damage up, and start that snowball. Leshrac obviously can operate on a fairly early timing as well. Anytime that the mid laner leaves the lane, he can just kind of start chunking down at that tower, and then once the tower's gone, it's really the world is his oyster.
Yeah, and this Meepo pickup, right? You said they don't have a good way of dealing with illusion heroes. Meepo, once again, an illusion hero, but remember, united we stand, divided we fall. If Meepo ends up losing one of his illusions, he ends up dying, so you have to play pretty well on that Meepo. All eyes will be towards FCR on probably the most mechanically intensive hero out of all the bunch at the moment, but we can talk about win cons for each of these teams. Starting with Sanken Gomez, what are we looking at for win conditions on that dire side?
So I would say they do have a couple of nice elements that come to this draft, right? One, they have 2 anti-armor heroes in the sense of the Shadow Fiend and the Weaver. And then they also have this little three hero combination grouping with the Marcy, the Nyx Assassin, and the Bat Rider that can go around and make a lot of noise in the late laning phase and when that breaks down into the mid game period. And if they're able to do so, and they're able to prevent either any of these tricores going down, like that's just my big concern, right? Is any of those 3 heroes on the Radiant side, if they get off the ground and they get running, it's gonna be a hard game, I feel.
Hold on 1 second. I forgot to execute my my casting config for the camera. So I'm gonna reload into the game. Sorry about that. But yes, we'll see where the lanes go for Return of AMB. I'm interested to see if this Leshrac actually gets played in the mid lane or if they're gonna put the Meepo mid. At the moment, they're not really showing anything other than Napkins in that off lane at the moment. So and FCR's bot side. So it is a carry Meepo, actually,
That's what
from
it's
Return of
looking
AMB.
like. 4-man smoke up as well.
We'll see what they can make on the bottom side of the map. Although there's Meepo nowhere nearby. They are going to be spotted on a ward at the moment, right about here. So they know what's going on. They just get some vision, though, and probably going to get this rune. Probably going to trade 2 for 2, in fact, as no one is there to contest the rune on their side of the jungle.
Yep, pretty passive. Just going to trade 2 for 2. Both mids sitting back by their towers, so they should be able to get good blocks off. Oh, well, actually, it looks like... I believe this might be a bat mid. This Shadow Fiend is walking up to the safe lane, and he's blocking creeps there. The Bat Rider's in the mid lane.
So it's a Weaver 3 then. Or a Marcy 3 and a Weaver 4. One of the two.
Let's see
They're still
here.
playing on that bot side of the map. Once again, didn't have a lot of time to do research on these players, so excuse me for not being as aware of what position everybody is. But we will see. Pamplona does not have
it's going to be a
Culling
Weaver
Blade.
off lane.
Yeah, it's a Weaver off lane. Yeah, he's going Wraithband into Maelstrom. So Weaver off lane, Marcy 4, and the Shadow Frown's going to be in that Legion Commander lane against both the LC and the Hoodwank here.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Man, I feel like couriers just get killed all the time nowadays. It's probably because they've multiplied, right? Like once there was 2 couriers and now there's 10.
Yeah. I mean, all these couriers going, I'm no first blood yet. The Shadow Raises doing a bit of damage on the napkin, but he has points in the overwhelming odds. So he's able to regen pretty well off the lane. Though, you don't want to be hit by 3 raises in a row either way. Looking to the mid lane, AMB currently setting 5 and 3 of the 4 and 2 Bat Rider. Of course, Leshrac, not really as concerned with the staking Napalm as some other mid laners might be, but at the same time, it does make it difficult to see us up against something like this Bat Rider. And Hijack gets killed bot on a D-Flash.
Yeah, and that's why I think that they're going to essentially like get this Meepo to the point where he won't just be food, right? He's onto his second Wraith
Rebound.
He
On a D-Flash again.
pulling him back.
Gets netted up by the Meepo. Silence lands. Hijack running away, but level 2 hit by D-Flash, but he's very low right now and has to be careful from Pamplona. One more rebound should be enough to get the kill. But FCR is here to protect his position 5. Looking at the last hits denies at the moment. That top lane, 13 and 1 to Napkin at the moment is Nightmare 7, sitting at 10 and 1. It's a slight weave there. As Bushwhack lands on a nameless, but the Shadow Raises will be able to trade back. Lots of regen has been used, and of course, the Insania special, lots of mangoes from these supports at the moment, especially these 5s.
Mangoes are so good.
Indeed, they are, because we're in a fighting meta, and therefore you get the mangoes less so than the more mana efficient, but less bursty options of the mana potion. Water runes
Right,
being
and
picked up mid lane.
it sounds like you're an offlane player as well. It's like, you know, you get your boots, you get your first item, then you bring out 3 mangoes, and it's like, I am the most untouchable thing in the universe now.
Pretty much. We'll see how the offlane Weaver does here. Speaking of offlaners, not where we typically have been seeing the Weaver as of late, but still can be very effective at making action happen across the map early, especially with the escape tools that Weaver has, such as the Sakuchi and the time lapse once that's available. Taking a look back topside, though, This lane still ever slightly in favor of that Legion Commander, up about 4 CS at the moment, but the denies go in the favor of Nightmare. And in fact, Bushwhack lands. Acorn shot for the kill onto B-God. Nightmare 7 now running away, and he is zoned off the wave completely. Fairly well played by that Hoodwink. Is meanwhile in the mid lane, or
Still
bot
going
lane,
bot.
excuse me. Hijack finds D-Flash. Net lands on a Hijack, though, and FCR with the Meepos will be able to trade back onto the enemy position 3. 5 for 3, worth it, especially the one gets a kill. But topside, B-God picks up Nightmare's Nameless TP's back a little bit too late.
The murder never ends.
No,
So I think so all in all, I think that was 3-0 across the map.
something like that in favor of A and B.
Let's see.
They
No,
got
because
2
they were
kills.
3 for 1. They were able to bring down D-Flash.
Yeah. So
But yeah, I mean, this is the Meepo is starting to. You can kind of feel that momentum building for this Meepo. Able to stand, hang and bang. His support went down, but he's a core. He doesn't care about that guy anyways. So like, you know, he's getting going, and then that's going to enable and open up this map for the 3, the silencer, the hoodwinks, and this Legion to start running around here in the next, 3-4 minutes. We got to get some ultimates online on this LC first.
yeah, it's going to be very important how easily can you snowball on that, because you're up against a similar snowball in the Mino. Pamplona dodging through the trees. Is spotted out by FCR, though, and Salve's up to half health, but he is running away. Got 7 intelligence stolen from him at the moment as the Meepo net lands.
This is dead Marcy.
A divided we stand leads to FCR picking up his 2nd kill of the game.
And so it has
Topside.
begun.
Impale in a shadow race. Spike Carapace gets a stun, but the overwhelming odds keeps Napkin alive, gets to press the attack as well, and he's able to trade back on a Nameless, not going down on the 1v2. And Napkin starting to look very spicy on this Legion Commander as B-God goes on a killing spree, picking up a kill mid up onto this Bat Rider.
Return of A and B coming out hot, man. I mean, they gave up that first blood, but after that, it feels like this game has been pretty much all A and B. They were able to find their C legs, start getting the items, start getting the levels that they needed, and they're outplaying Sand King Gomez and up top.
Beautiful acorn shot into Bushwhack, tries to kite away with that impale, but still, B-God, good enough to get the kill on a Nightmare 7. And Napkin, he's almost to level 6. This is still a level 4 Shadow Fiend at the moment, so this is going to be a very impactful first duel as AMB. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, also ahead, 33-13 to 24-9, and FCR's got another kill bot side.
Going back behind the tower.
And Napkin topside. I mean, these kills are just happening so quickly across the map, and my observing
And
is
that's
not
the
very
first
good in the
duel.
laning phase. Yep, first duel, 10 damage on Legion
Dude,
Commander.
it's hard when there's 11 kills in 7 minutes and they've been all over the map. Like we're wrapping up, we're summarizing action that we saw, and then still in that action, there's another action happening. Mid though, looks like they might be making a play.
Lund, Split Earth, and a Bushwhack, plus the Pulse Nova. AMB picks up the kill. Now onto the Edict on the tower. Went 2-0-2 off the start. Now picking up 2 points in the Edict. Should be able to push down towers pretty effectively. Now, this is pretty common for the Leshrac now, as your Lightning Storm is a very powerful laning ability, especially compared to that Edict. So picking it up on level 5 and level 7, and picking up the first tower of the game. Now 5k net worth advantage for Return of AMB, and we're only 8 minutes into the game.
Looking very good for the Radiant right now. Let me pull up the Gaben index. Hoochie mama, 82% is the Gaben graph index saying that's a favorability as down bottom. Hijacks.
Earthbinder
Able
on
to get the time
hijack,
lapse.
but he comes out with the time lapse. TP's coming in for the rest of his team. Pamplona's here. Looks for a rebound potentially on FCR. Remember, you only got to kill one Meebo, and in fact, he gets the rebound stun into the dispose. Here comes Nameless. Impale as well. D-Flash looking for the silences at the moment, but FCR, he's able to get out just fine, and the Spike Carapace gets onto D-Flash. He is not long for the world. The auto attack from Hijack does him in, and Hijack will pick up a kill onto the enemy 5. Meanwhile,
They're
topside,
hunting
in
the
the
top
jungle,
woods.
AMB, Pulse Nova, Bushwhack lands immediately into a Split Earth. And AMB picks up Nightmare 7 as well. This man is dominant on this Leshrac, currently setting 2-0-1, but completely and totally shreked that mid lane.
Taking a quick look over at the net worth graph.
Bushwhack, Sharpshooter on an aimless, gets the Spike Carapace off, and will stay alive.
Tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dude, 5K net worth lead 9 minutes into the game. That is not insignificant at all.
Yeah, we're looking at what is a very dominant start for the Meepo and the Legion Commander, especially. These are very snowbally heroes. Legion Commander, got the first duel of the game, looking for his second, but they're just going to push down this tower with now 3 points in that Diabolic Edict. They take it down. They're going to start TPing bot side after this glyph. The trees are cleared, so it'll be a risky TP if they decide to go for it, but they are. First to come in is going to be the Hoodwink of B-God. Second to come in, this Legion Commander. They're playing up with the wave. Pamplona on the side. More TPs
He's
coming
got
in.
blink.
This could be a 3 for 3. And in fact, the Blink Dagger. He's got it right now. Oh,
there
it's
it
the Legion
is.
Commander, and he found the duel. D-Flash is here as well. And the Sharpshooter gets the duel victory on a napkin with 100-0. Meanwhile, Hijack, he finds FCR, but D-Flash is here to play zone. It's Nightmare 7 trying to kill one of the Meepos as well, but the Bushwhack onto 2 members into the Acorn shot. AMB's here, gonna get stunned up with the Spike Carapace, but he gets the Split Earth onto the Weaver as they pick up the Shadow Friend as well, and a triple kill goes over to Beat God as the Scumbag support steals away all the kills from his cores on the bot side of the map.
You know what, man? B-God carrying this game right now, so, like, he can have some of these kills. With these bushwhacks that he's hitting, he's absolutely controlling the pace and the action of this game. He got the long-distance bushwhack up towards the outpost, where they were able to bring down the Shadow Fiend, and then right there he was able to get the 2-man, which set up all of the action that you saw. He's playing outside of his mind at this moment.
Indeed he is. Sitting at 1,700 gold away from that first item, Bloodstone for AMB, but he is third on the net worth charts, only barely behind his Legion Commander and his Meepo, currently sitting about 400 gold up. Meanwhile, next 3 poorest members are all Sand King Gomez, and that Hoodwink very close to the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, and that feels bad. Shadow Fiend, not really a hero that likes to play from behind. He does have flash farm potential to get himself caught up, but he doesn't really like to be behind. He wants to be ahead. He wants to, because that's the functionality of these heroes, right? When you have the ability to flash farm, they're balanced around the thought process that you are going to be flash farming and you are going to be strong. A Medusa at 35 minutes that only has a Yasha and treads is fucking useless, right? But a Medusa at 35 minutes that has, the treads, the manta, the butterfly, the Scotty, whatever secondary, tertiary item you want to throw in there, that is a problem. That is a scary hero, and that is what they're thinking when they're balancing these heroes based around. So, like the Shadow Fiend, he needs to find some space. He needs to maybe get involved in a kill. But it's looking rough for the boys right now, and there's a smoke coming right towards Nightmare.
Yeah, caught farming the Ancients. AMB's here. Blink forward from Napkin. Gets the duel. Sharpshooter as well. Right back into a Bushwhack and a Split Earth. Napkin picks up the kill credit. Now 3 duel victories over to this Legion Commander. We'll trade the bot tower, though, for it, though.
So that is something, and not only is it a little bit of gold that's in their pocket, but now that gives them some map control. You can already see they have good vision in this bottom part here that my friend Crucial, he refers to as the dojo. And that will open up. It looks like Lund is going to be the first one to try and take advantage of this space, get himself that BKB up. Presumably, there will be a Blink Dagger also thrown into the mix at some point in time. But I spent all that time talking about the Shadow Fiend. The Bat Rider is another hero that does not like playing from behind, because then essentially all you become is a lasso.
Yeah, and a lasso has to go BKB before the blink this game. You're in dire straits when you need that BKB through some of these BKB piercing abilities like the Diabolic Edict and like the duel, but instantly FCR gets the blink, and the duel follow-up from Napkin guarantees the kill. Really, really strong plays from the return of AMB with that Blink Dagger on the Meepos on the TP. killing the Batrider a little bit too far forward.
Where did he go?
Behind the tower.
No. Where did A and B go? He's returning, but where did he returning from where?
Dire's top
I don't know.
is under attack.
Has AMB actually made it to T2 DPC yet, or is he just not tried qualifying? I honestly forget.
I don't know. I feel like he may have been on a team that was T2. I know he was on the cut for a while, I believe, because I know I covered a game for around that time. But it's very possible that I'm confusing him with High Shaggy, because that's another one of Crucial's ex-teammates, and he's got two of them that play like DPC or borderline DPC, so it's confusing to me.
And AMB,
Vendetta scouting out, but they had the sentries, so they were well aware of the fact that whatever information they were giving was being received.
bot side. They spot out FCR. They know exactly what's going on down here. But this man, he's got a Dragonlance, got a Blink Dagger, and immediately going into the Scotty. As you are Meepo, and you just kind of build stats. And if stat items are good, Meepo is good, and FCR making that Meepo look incredibly good right now. Highest net worth in the game, and it's not even close. 7k net worth advantage for return of AMB at 15 minutes into the game. And Pamplona, he's scouting out, but FCR, he knows...
Spidey sense, dude.
Yeah, he knows exactly what's going on right now.
Oh. This
Top
could...
side. They spot him on the scan. They know the Batrider is here. They move out. So they're just playing really, really carefully at the moment.
So I think they maybe showed just a second too early on that wave, right? Down bottom. Because they scanned to show that there were heroes top, and I believe that FCR was starting to make a motion towards the creep wave that would have exposed himself. But instead, they showed the Shadow Fiend, they showed the Marcy, and he knew that it wasn't safe.
Yep. Now TP's back to the T2, starts taking the relevant creeps. Nameless's Vendetta towards this mid lane. Gonna push into the triangle. Maybe spot out some Meepos that are farming as he picks up a DD rune. Oh, instead he goes for the courier. Come on, get it. Meanwhile, in the
Trying to
jungle,
get the duel.
onto the
There
Marcy.
it is.
D-Flash here alongside AMB. There's no way for that Marcy to get away from that Napkin. It's another dual victory. Nameless on the side, but a lasso. It's been used. They found Napkin, but the Global Silence disengages. And now Nameless, he's got a Spike Carapace, but he's getting taken out by the Pulse Nova. The Sharpshooter, good enough for the kill. And B-God on a monster kill streak right now. He is 8-0 on the POS for Hoodwink. And they're going to move right on to Roshan with this Meepo.
I tell you, everybody's going to look at the fancy cores and all of that. But here's 16, 17 minutes throughout this game. It has been the Hoodwinked who is the MVP of this game, unequivocally, undoubtedly. He has just been, his fingerprints are all over the map. If a forensic team had to come in and do a crime scene investigation, he would be suspect number one because his fingerprints are everywhere, PhiNick.
I mean, he's painting the town red, or perhaps shooting the town green. I don't know exactly how that metaphor works. When you got a green ability that just snipes people from a million miles away and breaks them, never forget the break. It's very fun and balanced either way. It is a smoke out from Return of AMB as they move in towards this dire jungle. They haven't taken any T2s yet, but I feel they just haven't tried to go for the T2s. They have the Aegis of the Immortal on the Meepo. They're going to try to make things happen. In comes another duel into a Sharpshooter. B-God with another kill. And they pick up the Nyx Assassin to boot. That should be good enough for the mid lane T2.
Yeah, just play. They're just playing
FCR.
slow.
He's in a 1v3. Has the Aegis of the Immortal. Immediate TPs from the rest of the team. And that forces San Kengoma's back. But now they want to fight. Flash forward. FCR.
Net.
Nightmare,
No net.
able to TP out.
You know, everybody talks about Storm, and I mean, for a fair point, the Storm is probably the best hero in the game with the Aegis of the Immortal, but this Meepo is pretty high up there on that list.
Indeed, he is. Obviously, now you have two chances to spread your Meepos all over the map. They find Nameless in the jungle top side. Or does Nameless find them? We'll see. Spike Carapace plus the Silence comes in, but He's spotted out of the Vendetta with the Dust of Appearance, and the duel good enough for it. 94 damage now as the Global Silence gets the TPs mid. The Nets coming in from FCR. He goes down into the Aegis as he's taken out by the Shadow Fiend, but the rest of his team is here. Sharpshooter good enough for 1 kill, and they're on to the Bat Rider as well. Another net lands on it. Hijack. These cores are melting like fireflies at the moment. I'm not sure if that is the right metaphor, but Hijack is able to time walk out of the way. Pamplona, though, will be the sacrifice. Triple kill for Napkin, and just like that, 3 cores dead. They still haven't pushed for any of these T2 towers, but the Aegis is at least gone from AMB.
Yeah, and I mean another very good, very clean engagement that's coming out from the side of Return of AMB. And are they going to spot that TP coming through? This is such a ballsy TP. And now what? Now what do you do?
He's got Nameless around, but B-God, he knows exactly what's going on. Nightmare showed on the wave.
That's just... Yeah. I mean, obviously these players are much better than you or I, right? So who am I to question their decision-making abilities? But we had no Requiem of Souls. That was such a dangerous TP. It's just that risk versus reward factor, and I just feel like the payout was I mean nothing. Like we're still in the exact same position that we would have been. I mean, maybe you kept this tower alive for another minute until the next creep wave and they bring the next push in. But yeah, I want you to play a little bit more careful on the Shadow Fiend so that you guys can actually have a game, man. I want this to be something dramatic. I want there to be some sort of comeback, because right now it is all a Return of AMB. They have found themselves the silencer, though.
Yeah, but it's not enough. AMB's right around the corner. Now that we have a little bit of a lull in game, it's time to play a game I play with all of my co-casters.
Oh dear.
It's America's favorite game. It's called Guess the Gaben. Without looking, tell me what you think the Dota 2 or the Dota Plus win probability is for Return of AMB.
Oh god. I mean, including the skill, I'm thinking it's going to be probably 95, 96%.
We shall see. It's 97. You're right on the money. The CR gets that kill bot side. Now TPing top. Gonna push out more waves. Oh, found Nameless.
Oh no.
Duel. No way out.
Cockroach can't hide in the cabinets always.
Nope. And FCR got a kill top. All right.
Boy, he's just all over the place with this Meepo, dude. Just reminding me, giving me PTSD flashbacks of all the Meepo Smurfs that I've encountered. That just like, it's like, dude, this game is not fun anymore. You have ruined the fun of this game for me.
Yep, and he's got his Scotty now too, so pretty good.
This is a problem. This is a very serious problem. You're looking at this Meepo. He's got 27 quick maths, 27 armor. He's got 2600 HP, and there's 5 of them, 4 of them running around causing mayhem. It's a very serious problem.
The problem I don't think Sankan Gomez can solve. Nameless. He's Vandetted up. Might spot an AMB. Lunda's here. Does he have the Blink Dagger? No. Gets the duel, though, on to the Napkin. In comes the Sharpshooter, though, and they trade back onto the Shadow Fiend as AMB runs him with a BKB. Gets Nameless very low. Finally takes him down. They've traded 2 for 1 core and a support for a core.
That was the play, PhiNick. That was the play. That was exactly what you're hoping to get, right? You get a core, you get a high value target in the lasso, in the Firefly, and you drag him right back into the clutches of the Shadow Fiend of Nevermore as he's about to unleash the Requiem of Souls. And then the Global Silence, he's just like, nah, shut the fuck up. Yeah, like, I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish, but first we gotta hit you with the 2-piece.
Yeah, D-Flash, very clutch with his Global Silences. Getting all of the 2 lassos we've seen this game interrupted. As Roshan, earliest spawn, 156. They've taken a T2 tower, and they've taken the outpost on the Sand King Gomez side of the map, but they are going to play towards this next Roshan. I'd have to imagine get that shard on to AMB if he doesn't already have it. And he does not. He's going into the Ags this game. Nihilism, interesting build from AMB. Not a ability we see a lot on the Leshrac.
You know, I honestly don't know if I've ever actually seen this ability in a game. And I cast a lot of fucking Dota.
Oh,
Dude, did he
FCR
just turn
found
that
Nightmare
around?
bot side?
What? Okay. This dude is bananas, right? So what had happened, right, while you were talking about the Leshrac, there was a two-man smoke gank with the Vendetta. FCR, just again, with his star sense, with this inexplicable... Oh, there's a fight.
Nameless. Spike Carapace gets a stun on AMB, but he's able to Bloodstone, get the heals back up. B-God running away. Lund is here, has the lasso available to him. BKB's through the splitter. If he really wants this hoodwink right now, he's almost there, but in comes Napkin, gets disarmed,
Oh,
and
God.
by AMB gets the kill. And B-God is just like, what are you talking about? 11-0-2 on the hoodwink? You should go after one of my cores instead.
Oh, dude, I get it. I understand the desire because that would be such a tasty bounty to get into your pockets. Dude,
What
he's
the-
just off
where
doing it
is
again.
FCR? What?
It-
What
top
is this
left
man
corner.
doing?
I
What is this man doing?
This is one of the more impressive performances that I've ever seen in my life. Like, so as we were saying before that fight broke out, there was a two-man smoke gank with the Vendetta going into the bottom. They were trying to find FCR. He has this star sense. He knows where they're coming. He hides out in the woods by what used to be the secret shop, rest in peace, or the side shop. And then somehow we're looking up top, and then he's able to find the Shadow Fiend and turn a two-man smoke gank into his own kill. Like he's just, it's just amazing. It's got to be so frustrating for the side of Sand King Gomez. It's like trying to catch smoke with your bare hands, PhiNick.
And they certainly aren't bare hands, because in fact it is bees that are the ones that you typically smoke out. Anyways, as you said, relishing in the greatness that is that pun, Hijack is pushing onto the T2 bot side, but this Meepo,
Oh.
he's baiting onto Lund and gets one. Nat, but the BKB's in from Lund, still going to be taken down very low by the Diabolic Edict, excuse me. I play that hero. What's going on? Pamplona jumps in with the rebound, gets
we
the
go.
dispose onto
No.
B-God, but the duel, they pick up
Yeah.
the Shadow Fiend, another on a Pamplona, once again, double kill for AMB. And even though Lund picks out the hoodwink, first death of the game, by the way, Lund has to run away. Nameless here with Spike Carapace, gets a stun. FCR goes godlike on the side of the fight, and in fact, in comes Lund with the flaming lasso, but he's got nothing left in the tank from the rest of his team, running away with the Firefly through the rest, but D-Flash is here, gets the silence, the net does not land, and Lund is able to TP away.
I was about to make a snarky comment about how he's not. You can't really run away when you're leaving such a trail, and then he gets out. He gets the TP. Just the luck of the net not quite landing.
No, it does not land, and I mean, now a 19k in the lead is the return of AMB. They've got two T2s now, only one left on the map to take away from Sand King Gomez, who have only taken the bot T1 tower away from the return of AMB. Roshan is spawning in 4 seconds. Will they spot it out in time? D-Flash going in the pit just in time to see it spawn.
Boom.
And they move right on to Roshan next, I'd have to imagine.
I mean, the Dota gods are just smiling on the
and
return
a
of
Paladin
AMB
sword for
today.
AMB. Oh no. Oh no, you can't. Wait, you skip with the Nether Shawl instead of Paladin sword? My man. That's
Might be opting to give it to the Meepo. Might be opting to give it to the Legion. Both heroes would be very nice with the Pally.
Yeah, but it's so good on Leshrac.
No, I don't disagree with you, but I'm sure AMB is feeling himself after that semifinals performance coming into this grand finals. They're walking on sunshine, 21k net worth lead, 28 minutes into the game. And so he's just feeling himself. He can just do whatever it is that he feels like doing, but there's a 5-man smoke and it looks like there's storm brewing.
Gomez, they actually don't have the lasso. What are you doing playing like that? And in comes the Leshrac. They get the kill off the duel from Napkin. BKB is being popped at the moment as the Leshrac gets stunned back up, but in fact, he gets the Lincoln Sphere off in time, still ends up going down as FCR are trying to tank up the damage from this Shadow Fiend. In comes Napkin. B-God with the kill and Hijack. He's going to try to find his way on the last Meepo of FCR, but it's too little too late. He goes down. Team wipe for only AMB, and Roshan goes over to the return therein.
Dude, the sheep stick on the Meepo at the last possible second. I don't know if that was calculated. I don't know if that was just luck. I don't know, but this game, it feels like if the fat lady isn't singing yet, she's warming up the vocal cords.
Time to play America's favorite game once again. What does Dota Plus say?
I say it's a full 100. It's a stack.
You had a coin flip. It's a 99.
Oh no!
You
So they
lost the
still
coin
see
flip.
a route to recovery.
I don't know where that 1%'s coming from. I'm gonna be real with you, Gaben. But
Mike,
Sankin Gomez.
she says that she disagrees with the Dota Plus index often, and I'm agree with you here, Effie. I do not think that there's a 1% chance for them to come back into this game.
I don't think that's the context in which Effie disagrees with the Dota Plus index, but either way, D-Flash 4-stepping forward on a Nameless. And time-lapse out from Hijack as this triangle starts being taken by Return of A and B. You know, we still call it the triangle, even though there are only 2 camps in it.
I did hear a casting
please.
duo. I can't remember whom it was now, referring to it as a diangle. I mean, I feel like at that point, like it's just a line.
It's a line, yeah.
You
It's
know
a
what I'm
line
saying?
segment, you know?
Yeah, it's a set. Yeah, it's a line segment. I know geography.
Geometry, but either ways, English should be your strong suit considering, you know, you're a caster. But I'm just having a little joke with you either way. Diabolic Edict onto this T2 and it
play-by-play,
just
dude.
melts.
I'm sure you know this. The play-by-play section of your brain is completely different and unrelated to everything else.
That is 100% correct, as FCR just solo kills Nightmare topside like it's nothing. A and B pushing on to the high ground at the moment. BKB from this Marcy with the ultimate, but it's not enough to stay alive. Nameless gonna go up into the self-fuels, but in comes B-God, in comes the kill. Global silence over the top is Hijack. BKB Sakuchi's out of the way, does get the bug onto AMB, tries to get a bushwhack on top of him from B-God, but he does not get it, and it's still 3 for 0. They're going to push on to this T3 bot side.
You know, and that's something that we've not talked about yet this game, and I think that really just kind of goes to show how shit tier analytical work that I am. But the press the attack against this Bat Rider Lasso has foiled the plans, I think, twice now. Every time that the global silence has not been there to ruin the day of Lund, it has been the LC there with the press the attack to kind of just purge off the lasso, and it just makes all your efforts just fruitless.
You know what does bear fruit? Certain types of trees of which are being planted by B-God. Once again, my puns are on point. There's nothing you can do to convince me otherwise, and Sankin Gomez
Talking
just
about my
trolling in their
English.
base right now. Look, as you mentioned, play-by-play part of the brain completely different from the other part of your brain. Just kind of go on autopilot during the fights, and you're like, what happens? My mouth said some words, but I'm not exactly sure what they were. Either way,
Oh, no.
Blink duel onto the Bat Rider, gets stopped by the Impale, though, and the duel doesn't actually go over. Yes, it does, in the nick of time. The Legion Commander dies, but not before the Bat Rider.
Dude, I'm telling you, the Dota gods are just favoring the return of A and B, at least in this game. It may not be it may just be a one-off occurrence here. They may decide to level the playing field. But I don't know, man. They are just smiling on the return of A and B at this moment. And this net worth lead, it just continues to extend as the side of Sankin Gomez, they're just forced to stay inside of their base largely. They nowhere is safe. We have Bleak Daggers on so many heroes. We have FCR who's able to literally just kind of be everywhere at one time. He's just this omniscient being on the or omnipresent rather, this omnipresent being on this Meepo, and it's not like you can even, you know, the old standbys where it's like, okay, well, like I'll sneak into their woods and I'll farm their jungle, or I'll just push a lane and try to cut waves and then like hide and then cut waves. None of that works. They're just forced to stay potted up like a damn pot of tuna and just hang out in this woods. And here it goes again.
FCR, he's found the Shadow Fiends, and down he goes. Lund Cup of the Sharpshooter. He falls as well. The BKB being popped by Hijack at the moment, but Nameless is going to be the target from AMB. In comes B-God, gets the bushwhack. AMB with the double kill now. No buybacks available from San King Gomez. And you'd have to imagine that's game. GG has been called. Return of AMB, take game 1 of the series.
What a game for return of A&B. I'm a bit disappointed in the boys. They ended up coming just a bit short, right? 32K, 34 minutes, so they didn't get to overcome the time clock. But I think they'll be okay with the performance all the same.
Yeah, I think they're definitely okay with that performance, especially after the comeback from their semifinal game number 2. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, more San King Gomez versus return of AMB. Welcome on, welcome all, and welcome back to TD2L Division S. My name is PhiNick, joined by Rada, and we are in the grand finals game number 2 of the return of A and B versus San King Gomez. They swap sides, and it's first pick Leshrac once again
5 seconds.
for the return of A and B.
They go back to the Knicks. So San King Gomez won the flip. They were able to take second pick this time around, but they over prioritized the Marcy over the Leshrac, and insofar it's pretty much just kind of like a redux of game 1.
Yep, got the Shadow Fiend as well. We'll see how many of the same heroes we get from game number 1 to game number 2.
Dire team back.
Return of A and B. Go ahead and pick up the Hoodwink once again to go
Why
on
not?
B God. Yeah.
Absolutely, why not? And I mean, so now this is where things, I expect, will start to change up for the side of the San King Gomez's draft, and because of that, the answers in return from the return of A and B will be things will start to shake up just a little bit here. Of course, in a game like that, where the final scoreboard was like 50-7, nobody looks good when you're the side with 7 kills. But I'm not sure if this Knicks Shadow Fiend opening is really going to get them where they want to be.
I'm not sure if it's what they want or if it's what they need, but it is in fact what they want. I mean, they're comfortable on the Shadow Fiend. I think the lane was just really bad for them last game. I think if they can get rid of the Legion Commander, which they just did, as well as the Viper, secure the Shadow Fiend lane, it'll be a lot easier for them going forward into the rest of the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was such a hard game for the Batrider. I'm trying to remember the exact, like, the order of the picks, but TBI short-term memory issues kind of make that a struggle. But I feel like it went like Silencer and then Batrider, and then that's when the return of A and B went with the Legion. So I don't think that it was a Batrider into Legion. I believe the Legion was an answer to the Batrider. And answer it absolutely did. That Legion popped off. She had a wonderful game. But really, I mean, the Meepo was the I mean, outside of the B God Hoodwink, the Meepo was the star of the show. He was just all over the place. He had amazing star sense, just being able to feel when there were ganks, when there were plays coming on him, and which extremity of the web the tension was starting to come from. Which is one thing it's one thing to feel like you're in danger and to feel like there's action happening, but it's a whole other thing to know where of my Meepos, where of my Meeps, which one of you of my little Meep children are the ones who are in trouble here. And he was able to do it every single time. I feel like the only times he went down was in proper team fight engagements.
Yeah, and even then, I mean, he had the Aegis, one of them didn't go down. And I
Right.
think he may have only died once, realistically, that entire game. Just really strong on that Meepo. I mean, I know the Hoodwink B-God only died once in the entire game, too. So, now San King Gomez, they ban out snipers, so they don't want to deal with the range and potential lane domination that brings with the current max headshot build. That said, they are to pick now, and probably going to pick 3 and 4 if I'd have to guess.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Chewing into this time just a little bit. And I mean, the problem is, like, so they steal the global silencer themselves. And I do anticipate that this is going to be a 5 silencer, just like we saw the last time. I highly doubt that we'll be seeing anything cheeky coming out in that regard. But what that does mean is they're gonna this next pick, this pick at 18, it's gonna have to answer quite a few questions. They don't have a whole lot of lockdown. They don't really have proper true initiation. You do have the Nyx and the Vendetta who he can set up plays, but he more wants to set up the initiation rather than be the initiatee himself. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see
still
what they
think you
want to
need-
do with that. Maybe a Centaur, honestly. I don't mind the thought of a Centaur. He's a blink bot, he's a stun bot, he can get the pipe happily. And you need some sort of answer to run away from this Leshrac. And goddamn, it's TI, boys. Lich Broodmother.
Yeah, speaking of pipe buyers, the only hero I think should ever buy a pipe in any game of Dota ever, Broodmother, being picked up by the return of A and B, gonna go into that offline, have to imagine. And, San King Gomez, do they have any answers to this is the question you have to start asking yourself. Or what answers are left in the pool? Leshrac, of course, already on the return of A and B, so it's not like they can pick the Lesh into it and deal with the Broodlings that way.
So I honestly, what also could work here is a Primal Beast. It fits into a similar situation. They do have a couple of ways to make his trample a little bit less effective, but he is another just a big hero. He would run in, he would cause the initiation. He creates all of this noise. He could just trample down the brood spiderlings once those things kind of get up and running and start to become an issue. And also, I feel like now that the Broodmother doesn't she doesn't go invisible while inside of her webs anymore, they go Sven.
I mean, that is clear for the Broodlings.
Yeah, but it doesn't. So now the way that the Broodmother gets away from people is she's just able to run over cliffs. She's able to run through the trees. She's able to just kind of use these pathing ways that nobody else would be able to get to her. And the Primal is one of the single best heroes in this game at removing said obstructions. She runs into the trees. That's great. I'm just going to smash those fuckers anyways and continue to chase after you. And he can do that from minute 2, from minute 3. I mean, depending on what the lane matchups are and how things shape up, you can start getting kills with trample at level 2. 100% you can start getting kills at level 3 when you have level 2 trample. But I mean, this doesn't the Sven pick doesn't necessarily mean that the Primal Beast cannot be picked up here, as they're taking out the Death Prophet. It seems like they're thinking that Sand King Gomez. I guess the DP could flex too, right? The DP we have been seeing go into the off lane as well.
Yeah.
So the Sand King Gomez draft, it's fairly maneuverable. So far, it's very pliable as far as what the cores they're showing. I mean, we could swap the Shadow Fiend and the Sven, whoever we want to. I do believe that they'll have the Sven up against the Broodmother just because the Shadow Fiend has no natural escape, whereas you can have the Warcry on the Sven give you a little bit extra movement speed. And he has the extra health, the extra tank, the stun to kind of give himself that the chance of life, I guess, so to speak. Taking up Terrorblade and the Life Stealer. Yeah, I mean, they don't have great burst damage. So Sunder could absolutely be a problem.
I almost want to see I know they have Sven. But TB banned to me says they don't want to go super late, which means you could go something like a Drow here, maybe? I could see a Drow, actually, from A and B.
Radiant team pick.
Nope, going Troll.
They go Troll. Please, please, please pick Primal Beast. This game is just screaming Primal Beast to me. We'll see if they agree. We'll see what Sand King Gomez thinks. So far, I've not seen it touched in this series. It's not been picked. It's not been banned. These heroes are just acting like it doesn't exist. And I understand, right? Towards the end of TI, we saw the Primal Beast fall off in efficacy, fall off in win rate. And I think over the last 2 days, I think he went 0-3, right? So, like, they were able, the 10k meta was able to adapt and to adjust and to overcome to this Primal Beast. But this is not the 10k meta. These players may be close to that 10k mark. They may be close to that. And they go Timbersaw. Okay.
I mean, deals with the Broodlings at least.
Right, and it does also clear the obstructions. It helps to clear out the tree waves. It helps to clear out the areas that the spider can go and hide, and you can no longer reach.
Yeah, it does lock the Sven into the +1 position, though. I mean, we knew this was going to be a Sven one anyway, most likely, but still, like, I don't like Sven that much as a carry right now. I know, like, some people have been picking up and doing it in, like, weird positions and stuff like that, as you were mentioning during the first draft, but, like, I take issue with how Sand King Gomez is actually going to do anything with like the Sven at all. And you're also letting Shadow Fiend, who should win lane in the last track, but AMB absolutely stomped in game 1 up against Lund, and Batrider is no slouch in the lane either, so this can be very, very dicey if Return of AMB gets the leads that they got in game number 1 in the lanes.
I agree. And so the one thing that I will say, right, with the Timbersaw, I think the thing of the train of thought is now we have reactive armor against the troll, right? So beat me all you want. I like it in a way. You know, he's kind of like a BDSM person, but it just I don't think that it'll have that same impact, right? Because like I don't think that he'll bring enough damage. And they still it doesn't really answer the initiation into the fight. I mean, you do have Sven, and once he gets the Ags, he can Superman in. He can kind of blink, throw the stun, and stuff like that. But again, I feel like that's a hero that likes to be the secondary, right? You still need a primary initiator, and that's why I was a proponent of the Centaur. That's why I was a proponent of the Primal Beast. We'll see if they're able to find that with the Timbersaw and the Nyx Assassin, both kind of providing them with these solo entities able to run around the map, able to give them this extra vision and information. And I mean, with the pure damage that comes out from Chakra, you do also with the shard, you're able to get the flamethrower as well. Helps with the push and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Looking at these drafts, I think I still favor the return of A and B.
Yeah, I think I favor them as well. A couple of disconnects at the start, trying to fix some ping issues. But
So let's play your game. Let's play your game. I'm gonna say, coming out of the draft, it is 56% favored for the return of A and B.
it's actually 51-49 in favor of
Oh,
Return of
really?
AMB.
It's
Yeah.
that close.
I mean,
Huh.
I don't think Gaben has the stocks in Leshrac and Broodmother the same way a lot of others, in the same way the casters and analysts do.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess so. There is a very real threat, I guess, of if this troll is having a bit of a rough time getting going, this Broodmother could kind of just fall off that proverbial cliff. At least in my games with Brood, she feels very good. She feels very strong for the first 30, 35 minutes. And then after that, it just kind of, I feel like they went to the store and they bought insect repellent, and there's just nothing that I can do anymore.
Yeah, but Brood's not an insect; she's an arachnid. Get it right. Stormhammer on a napkin, though, but he does have the free pathing. Doesn't even matter, though. The Impale, good enough for the second stun, and Lund gets the kill.
Great first blood potential, very strong level 1. Hopefully they'll be able to use this first blood to better ends than what they were able to get from game 1.
Yep, and it's going to be an early bottle for Lund as well, because he got the first blood credit, which will be very nice up against this Leshrac lane. They're going to contest for this top rune, actually. Pamplona goes forward. Axes into a bushwhack. Pamplona running away. 3-man impale, though. D-Flash going to try to get the rune. He does. So I will go 2 runes apiece.
Hang on, I need to restart my Dota.
All right, you do that.
I have some weird camera bug. My map just won't stop sliding.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Talk about nausea inducing.
Something like that. Either way, Napkin gets first blooded on the Brood, but it did not go to his lane opponent, at the very least. And B-God was a god last game on this Hoodwink. We'll see if he's able to do it again this time. That the Stormhammer into the Arcane Curse does do quite a bit of damage on a Napkin. He's going to try to get some right clicks in on a Nightmare, but Napkin starts out these early trades not the way you want to on the Brood. Of course, that level 6 is really the moment where Brood starts to shine after this, or in this laning phase. Top side. D-Flash. Catches Pamplona trying to drag the wave. And will be able to drag this completely, but he loses his courier for it. And a
Another
hijack timber
courier,
chain
dude.
doesn't land onto D-Flash. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Lund, AMB, 6N1 for Lund, 3N1 for the Leshrac. But wave is pushing the other way now, so AMB should be able to get some of this CS back.
As I feel like the mid lane is one of the hardest lanes to judge via CS as a caster, just because like with all the games that they play, double waving each other, dragging them back behind the tower, stuff like that. I feel like it's very easy for you to get a not completely true impression of the mid lane. Like right there, right? It looked like the Shadow Fiend was super far ahead, and then it was just like, nah, the Leshrac still has 4 extra creeps on the map that the Shadow Fiend doesn't.
Yep. Lund's going to go for his water rune down bot side. MB has a bottle coming on the courier at the moment, but of course that early bottle for the Shadow Friend does feel very nice in this Leshrac lane. As we take a look bot side, Napkin and B-God being shoved in under their tower by Nightmare and Nameless. Not the start that they got in the previous game, but it is pretty even CS-wise across the map as we approach minute 3.
Is the Sven holding a skill point on your end?
Yes, he is.
Interesting.
I mean, I
Maybe
think
just
he's
trying to hold it to see if he needs a war cry to get out of dodge.
Yeah, pretty much. Just holding it for Warcry. Doesn't really need the cleave at the moment, as Napkin does not have. And Lund gets the solo kill on Leshrac in that mid lane. I was saying Napkin, he's not 6 yet, so he doesn't have Broodling, so you don't really need the cleave. And yeah, he's holding both the level 2 and level 3 points right now.
I wonder why. I love talking to high level players and just picking their brain as far as how they see the game and why they do the things that they do. Like what decisions he's debating and stuff like that. Like if he's really doesn't feel like, because I mean it essentially almost doubles the damage for only 5 extra mana, and it lowers the cooldown for 2 seconds to take that second point in Stormhammer. As now he's going to opt to just put 2 into the Giant Cleave. But it's just that shit's just fascinating to me. It's you know, because there's levels and levels.
Gets an Arcane Curse, but even with this Fairy Fire, he should end up dying. Be got with the kill credit. An exciting start, but not as exciting as last game. We got 3 kills of 5 minutes instead of rather insane number. D-Flash gets a solo and a hijack, but he timber chains out. Pamplona just kind of getting the solo XP over to his core, as D-Flash has been doing for FCR as well. FCR on the chase, but the Impale stops him.
Little mini Ravage feels good.
I mean, the Little Mini Ravage is the new Tidehunter shard.
Oh no, I feel that's he just hit 2 with the stuff.
Yeah,
it's like a Little Mini Ravage, not Tendrils of the Deep, but
tries to TP out, but Pamplona's there with the Impale. As this Broodmother, I mean, been pretty alright for himself in terms of CES, currently sitting at the top, 31-4, up against the Sven 29-2. Really, the only big CS differences are happening in the top and in the mid lane. B-God takes away a regen rune from Nameless and Lund.
Oh wow, dude, take a look at the net worth.
Yeah, top of the charts is Lund. That Broodmother right behind him. At the bottom, it's AMB.
That's the
With
thing that really caught my attention. I believe we looked at the net worth this time around game one, and B God was creeping up on Lund on the oh.
Bushwhack. Good enough for AMB kill. 1-2 raises. Holds the third, though, as the Lightning Storm comes down on top of Lund.
But yeah, B God was like right behind and catching up to the enemy mid laner last time, and up before that kill, he was catching up to his own mid laner this game, and I feel like that's really been the big difference.
Indeed it has been. Napkin, though. With Nightmare. Just treading it out. I mean, he's sitting number 2 in the net worth chart, but about even with his Sven. Stormhammer does land. The Napkin forces the Warcry out of Nightmare as well. As Nightmare is level 6 now, but he doesn't have any mana for the God Strength.
Level 6 out on the Broodmother. The year of the spider has begun.
Now AMB getting chased under his tower.
Did you see? Did you see the Zai game?
Oh yeah.
You just took over the entire half of the map.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Liquid versus Secret game 2. Very fun.
Yes, sir.
Very good game.
That was such a good series.
That was such
That's
a good
probably
series.
one of the best.
I
That's
stayed
one of
up
the
to
better
watch that
series of
series, and
Dota
I'm
I've
like,
seen in a while.
I stayed up to watch that series, and I watched the show match because I'm like, they're gonna announce the new hero. And then once they announced, I think her name's pronounced Muerta.
Muerta.
Lund gets another kill mid lane. Once they announced her, I'm like, all right, I'm going to bed. And I'm glad I did, because I got spoiled on the results. And B gets an invis rune. FCR being doped by Hijack topside, though, was our 2 members rotating in. Pamplona is here alongside Nameless. Come in with the Impale. FCR has the ultimate to perhaps stay alive, but D-Flash is around. Only level 3, though.
Oh,
gets
dear.
a slow, but the Chakram does quite a bit. And the Arcane Curse as well. Timber Chain for the kill, but Pamplona gets it.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yep, definitely. It's a bit of a more quiet game here for the side of Return of AMB in game 2 than it was in game 1, where that game was really, it was just like, it was like a frenzy of piranhas, you know, just everywhere, just taking little bites, little bites, little bites, little bites. Whereas this game, it's been a lot more slower, a lot more controlled, and things are looking a lot better for Sand King Gomez here, sitting with their 2 cores at the top of the net worth. And this Leshrac, that's the big deal. This Leshrac is super far behind.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Does have the ability to farm back into the game, and even if he's late on the Bloodstone timing, it is still very impactful.
Right.
As towers get traded in both off lanes.
Yeah, it's a bit different from last game, right? Where they had those heroes that just did not like playing from behind. You had the Bat Rider, you had the Shadow Fiend, stuff like that. Whereas the Lesh, it's a little bit nicer for him.
Indeed it is.
You got actually miss a Bushwhack?
Ooh, perhaps. AMB trying to take some creeps. Speed God.
Whoa.
Denies the DD rune, but is taken out by some shadow raises from Lund. We are slowly getting a net worth lead for Sand King Gomez, about 1k at the moment. We favor the AMB draft here, but this game lanes just didn't go their way. And this time around, especially that mid lane, it's all going to be on Lund, on the Shadow Fiend, to see if he can carry this game from that mid lane position.
Getting very close towards that Echo Saber as well for this for Nightmare on the Finn. He does already have the Mask of Madness. Do they have any stacks built up for this Finn yet? They
No.
do not. A little bit disappointing. Of course, they could have
Bro.
already, because it's usually after you get the mom that you clear out the stacks anyways.
Hijack picking up a
Oh
kill.
dear.
Bot side. On a napkin. And
Dire's bottom tower is
you
under
just
attack.
let it breathe, as it were. But return of A and B, and they came down, or they came back from a 10k net worth deficit in the previous game, or in the previous series. That was up against a Naga Siren. This time they're up against the Sven, similarly having issues getting super high damage in the late game. I do have late game scaling with this Troll Warlord and the Shrek, so 2k at 12 minutes. Not quite dire straits for them yet, but it is not very good at the moment for turn of A and B.
Looking to make a play bottom.
Bushwhack
Bushwhack hit.
lands into the sharpshooter. Pamplona gonna try to run interruption at the moment as he gets held. Does in fact get on a Pamplona, and the Lich gets the fear in. Now Lund, he was
But
on
with
the
that kill, they were all, it was a 4-man pod that they made that play with. The net worth lead was actually able to extend for Sand King Gomez just via the fact that they were able to spread out across the map and they only lost the Nyx.
Yeah, Lund, another kill, mid lane on the Lich. AMB, he's 2 levels down on his lane opponent. As
That
Pamplona
never
TP's
feels
in.
good.
No, it does not.
Dire's structures are
And the Lesh is now, he's above the troll now.
Yep. 1900
But this
gold
troll?
off the,
Okay, so he has the Maelstrom coming out.
Yeah. Troll's got the Maelstrom coming out, and Leshrax, I said 1900 gold. I meant 900 gold off of the Bloodstone. He's holding all his gold at the moment, though.
Okay. So, I mean, honestly, I don't mind this approach that we have seen from the return of A and B, because the lanes didn't go super well, right? So they've just kind of been sitting back, licking their wounds, taking what they can. And now we've got the Maelstrom out on this Troll Warlord. He's going to be able to start making recovery farm, and we're getting very, very close to this to the Bloodstone as well from A and B. And once they get that Bloodstone, they're going to be able to start making plays around the map, start looking to get kills. And just looking at this map, they're tied as far as objectives go. They've both lost their safe lane tier 1 towers, and they've not lost anything else. So it's not like this
T-Flash.
rough start.
Vendetta and a Chakram Impale. Good enough for the kill, but Napkin. Interestingly enough, Hijack went for the Defiance. Napkin, he's going into the Wraith Pact instead of the more traditional option with the Hood of Defiance into the pipe. I remember the name of that item. Either way, A and B in trouble from Lund. Yeah, I mean, didn't even need Nameless there to get the kill.
Yeah, I reckon he's opting to go that way because all of Timbersaul's damage being pure, the pipe doesn't necessarily save the babies as much.
No, it does not. And B being delayed on this, though. On that Bloodstone is now 420 gold away. This Nightmare.
Oh, and they got another one.
Yep. God Strength for the kill. FCR pushing into the jungle with D-Flash. Caught in an Arcane Curse. Fear does land on the Lund, though, but he gets another kill. Now 7-0. Global Silence used. Bot side. Gonna try to get this Leshrac. Cop of the Mana Burn into the Impale. The Chakram does a bunch of damage as well, but AMB's keeping on at the moment. Holding the Lightning Storm, gets on a Pamplona. The Chakram comes out, but AMB still gets that kill. Lund is coming, though. AMB, still no Bloodstone. He had the ability to buy it and bring it to himself on Courier, but he didn't quite get it yet. Now B-God running away. Napkin's here, though. Lund doesn't have a whole lot left in the tank. He's going to TP out, but Hijack should be able to clear these Broodlings just fine, and in fact, he does. Now Timber Chain's out of the way.
tower is under attack.
And they killed this fan at least.
So now we're starting to get into the stage of the game where there might start to be some sort of a mental damage being done by having that Bloodstone delay, dying back to back to back. And AlienManaBanana, he is one of those players that he has a reputation for having a personality that can be a bit volatile. He's prone to tilting. He's prone to. I remember casting La Liga Venezolana de Dota, and he was on a team in there, and they just like all spam tipped him every single time he died, and he ended up like pulling an Artor and disconnecting from the lobby before the game was fully actually quote unquote over. As so it's something to keep an eye on for you viewers at home. We gotta make sure that this A and B, he's not tilting too hard and he's able to keep pressing his buttons the correct way and not let the emotions get in the way of the task at hand.
I mean, on the converse side, Sankigama is playing very well at the moment. After that first game loss, it looked like they might not have had the mental fortitude to keep on going on, but they did. And now, got strength pot from Nightmare. He wants to find his way on FCR. Does have the ultimate. The Storm is already there. One hit into the impale. Looking for the second hit, but FCR, he stays alive. Pops the ultimate now on Nightmare. D-Flash in trouble. So
this is a huge
that
fight.
Chain Frost, and that's absolutely massive. They pick up the Nyx Assassin and the Sven as Hijack tries to run away with the Timber Chain. AMB's here, though. He's got the Bloodstone Power Spike. They're going to continue on moving. Arcane Curse from Nameless hits on the 3 members that'll dissuade any further engagement, but that's 3 kills for 0. And the return of AMB showing some resiliency with that Wraith Pact, with that Bloodstone, making moves on the map that they need to at the moment.
Absolutely, and that's the type of stuff that you were hoping to see, that you'd like to see. He got clipped by that dust, but he went to the northeast. Whereas they thought he went to the southeast. And it looks like he's going to get out of dodge. Or is he?
Impale, but the Bushwhack's good. In comes the Troll. Global Silence over the top, though, as the Whirling Axes are doing a bit of damage. The Sharpshooter, not enough. Shadow Fiend.
Just pump fake.
Pump fakes the Requiem of Souls, but now he wants to go in. Another Bushwhack, though.
They have vision.
Very good from B-God. They have the vision as well. The Fear on Pamplona, but he's running forward with the Impale. In comes the Timber Chain, and Hijack gets the kill. AMB chunked out by the Chakram, but they lose their support. They're going to keep on pulling back.
Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And Napkin's doing Broodmother things, at the very least. He's got the Wraith Pact, building in towards that Pipe of Insight next. But yeah, Wraith Pact being that fighting item was really impactful on that topside fight, but they still are 6k down, and AMB is the poorest core in the game.
So we got the BKB working our way towards a Basher for the Troll Warlord. We're looking through our items. BKB's on the way or is being worked upon. Are they thinking Roche here?
They're gonna try to. They got the Whirling Axes out, and then the melee form as well. They do take this pretty quickly.
Yeah,
and they do. Spotted.
They have the required
vision
down
up.
as well.
He runs away. Really smart play from AMB. I found a Bushwhack as well. Boomerang on Nameless. Looking for the Sharpshooter. Gets it. B-God with the kill.
A and B said, I heard you talking that slick shit, Rada. Let me show you how wrong you are.
Yeah, return of AMB. I mean, they're still 6k down, though. And all the while, this Sven and this Shadow Fiend are getting bigger and bigger. Blink Dagger completed on Nightmare. He's got, I believe, his BKB on the Courier. Yes, he does. So he's going to be very potent in these next fight. Meanwhile, the Shadow Fiend building in towards that Silver Edge. He's already got the Shadow Blade as well as the BKB.
Still a very, very close game, man. Really, the only difference is that again, that safe lane tower. Oh, they still have their mid tier 1 up with pretty much full HP as well. That's very, very big. That provides them with so much control and so much. It gives them reach onto this map that they don't have otherwise. As we see a 4-man smoke starting up in this mid lane
Pause.
and a pause.
It's NA Dota, therefore we get pauses.
So it looks like the Silencer wants to go a 4-staff into the Ghost Scepter. Pamplona, he just got the Blink Dagger, so he's not thinking about anything just yet. AC on the Mind of Nightmare.
Okay.
The Silver Edge just completed for the Shadow Fiend. Hijack, looking towards his BKB.
He's got the Kaya Sanj as well. This could be absolutely massive. God Strength popped. Find D flash, but they really want AMB. Comes out with the Shadow Blade, or the Silver Edge pop. But
Not
Frost
able to
Shield
get it.
is enough. Chakram on a D flash. It should be able to get the support at the very least. But the Chain Frost comes out. Global Silence over the top as the TPs keep coming in from the side of the return of AMB, but they got the stun onto the Broodmother. He goes down. Lon with the double kill. And B got a little bit later on that TP. They're going to lose this outpost. And they lost 2 members. FCR setting up with D-Flash onto Lund. Gets the Whirling Axes out. Into the chain, or into the fear from the break. FCR gets the kill onto Lund, but Lund trades back onto D-Flash. That still is
Cool
303
grand in his
gold versus
pocket.
1,500.
Is it tax time already?
I think it's tax. It is April. It is tax time. Joke's on you, I do my taxes in January.
Joke's on you, I don't pay taxes.
Wait, hold up. That's legal.
That's libertarianism, man. I won't make political jokes on your stream. That might get you bad rap.
Perhaps. No, a bad rap is what I do when I get into a team fight.
Bad rap is what I do when I'm in the shower. Setting
No,
up on A and B bottom lane.
Indeed they are. That Vendetta.
But he doesn't have any friends.
Nope.
Kill the courier?
But AMB's going towards
Kill
the
the
rest.
courier?
No.
No.
And they spot out Pamplona now. FCR's here. Has a battle trance available too. I'm not like he needs it at the moment. Blink out. And FCR will just take the wave. He's got the Basher now and the BKB, building in towards the ever important Morbid Mask item that I forgot the name of because I'm bad and I don't play one.
Satanic?
Satanic. There we go. I build it sometimes on Bristleback. I should know it.
Dude, for some reason Crimson Guard is just an item name that skips my brain 95% of the time. I'm like, oh, you know, it's like the pipe, but it's not the pipe.
To be fair, the Crimson Guard is a bad item right now.
Yeah, no, and that's fair. That's fair. But this problem has existed for about 10 years now. You would think that I would eventually learn the name of the item in my game, but it's okay. There are lots of items, and they always add new ones. So
You got Crimson Guard, you got Shiva's Guard.
yeah, lots of guards.
I mean, they're built by different people. Actually, Bristleback can build either. Well, if Crimson Guard was a good item, and Abyssal Blade wasn't so good on the hero, but you know,
There's still certain heroes that I don't mind picking up the Crimson on. I'm a firm believer in the Vanguard on pretty much every hero.
That is true.
I'm just addicted to Vanguards.
I mean, you
like-
just the naked Vanguard. That's all you really need on most
Right.
of these heroes.
It's like I'm gonna play Crystal Maiden offlane. Better bring a Vanguard. Does it
Wait,
make
no,
sense?
but,
No,
no,
but
don't build Vanguard on ranged heroes. Hold up.
doesn't matter. It's just like I said, dude. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to the Vanguard.
Why would you build
It's
Vanguard
a
on a
problem.
ranged hero?
It's a sickness because I cannot control it. I just get into a game and I'm like, dude, I need a Vanguard. I've got to have it. I have to have it. I also never play Crystal Maiden as an offlane hero, if that makes you feel any better, because that's just dumb.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, do you buy a Vanguard when you play Lesh 3?
Oh, I don't play Lesh 3.
What
Problem
the?
solved.
He's the best 3 right now, though. I mean, you
I-
can
I-
argue Primal
I-
Beast is, but
I play Centaur, I play Primal Beast, I play the big beefy boys they just become this unignorable mass. I also like Panda, but
yeah,
he's a bit of a different unignorable mass.
I mean, he's 3 unignorable masses.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe more if he gets Ags.
And he talks with a funny slur. Because, you know, he's drunk.
Yes. I wish one of his abilities just made his enemies drunk.
I mean, I guess that's kind of what Cinderbrews is supposed to be doing in a way.
I mean, kinda?
Yeah. I mean, if you get hit with a Molotov cocktail, does your body absorb some of the alcohol and then that makes you a little drunk?
Yeah, but a Molotov cocktail doesn't have any alcohol in it as gasoline. That's what a Molotov cocktail is.
I mean, some people have made Molotov cocktails with like fucking like red label liquor.
With like Everclear or something like that. I'm sure you
Uh-huh.
could.
Yeah, the shit burns. It's flammable.
Yeah, but it's
Doesn't go boom as much as gasoline, but it depends. It depends on the level of destruction that you're looking for, PhiNick.
yeah, but
Jesus, this-
it's also an alcohol flame.
This cast is how I'm gonna end up on a list for the FBI or some shit.
Also, like, hold up. Like
Sure.
Everclear, fine, whatever. But like most high-proof spirits are also expensive, other than Everclear. So
I mean,
like,
yeah, but like so is arson. I don't think we're worried about the cost of the items that we're doing here.
but
Granted, I've never been arrested for arson because I'm not fucking a weird fire person, but like I assume that the fines alone are pretty extensive, as well as the court time that's gonna come, depending on what you hit with your Everclear Molotov cocktail. Like,
why would you just no. No.
It's funny that we got here via talking about buying a Vanguard on the Crystal Maiden.
We don't talk about buying a Vanguard in the Crystal Maiden because why would you even consider making a joke about playing Crystal Maiden offlane, let alone buying a Vanguard on a Crystal Maiden, playing Crystal Maiden offlane?
You know, I don't know, man. I'm not a normal person. I'm not a normal person. So this is where you get. You should have known that before you agreed to put me on your fucking stream, man. I don't know what to tell you. This is what happens when you're in dire straits and you're like, hey, I just need somebody to do analyst. I'm assuming we're having some ping issues for hijack. Came back in, saw the ping or the packet loss was still the same. Gonna leave. Maybe restart Dota. Maybe restart my router. Maybe make a cup of coffee.
I could use some coffee right now, but I got work tomorrow.
Cause that's these boys. They've been playing Dota since like 1 o'clock today, right?
Yeah.
That's a long day of Dota, and I assume that some of them were up watching TI last night.
Yeah, they're just built different. All right.
Yep, they're just built different, or their script is different, and they're able to abuse Adderall or some shit.
Either way. Smoke out.
Either way,
mid lane. Gonna
they
pop
end
on
their-
hijack.
A and B just had something dropped off. Is that the BKB that got completed?
Yeah, it's got a BK. Actually, that was the Boots of Travel. He had the BKB already.
Ah, okay.
Radiant's bottom tower.
And the smoke is survived. FCR about 300 gold away from the Satanic now. This could be very important buy for him as the Paladin Sword gets picked up, this time by San King Gomez.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower.
Mid lane, though. Found a Nyx assassin. Sharpshooter for the win. And a split earth for the kill. Immediate smoke out. They lost their T2 top side, but the TPs are coming in from A and B. Might look for a collapse play here. Everyone's getting pinged out. They're on vision. In comes B-God. Gets the bushwhack. The buybacks come in from both the supports. The fight has started, but it hasn't really gotten anywhere yet. Nightmare, he's popped the God Strength and he's going into the Roche Pit now. All the ultimates are available from everyone on these teams except for Nightmare. He's already popped the God Strength. It's about hat over, but they melt this right now.
Too late.
There's no way in for the return of AMB. Giving the Aegis to Lund. Or not Aegis to Lund, Shard to Lund, Aegis to Sven. In comes AMB though, caught by an Impale. More damage coming in from Lund. Can he get this Bloodstone off in the nick of time? He gets the BKB off. Now he's turning in with the rest of the team and the Bloodstone. The Global Silence comes out over the top though, but they got the bash onto the Shadow Fiend, and he goes down. FCR goes dominating now, chasing on to the Silencer. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the fight, Hijack ends up picking up the Hoodwink, but now he's running away from Napkin, AMB, and company.
Good fight for the return of AMB. Feels like this game is largely on the shoulders of FCR if the Dire are to come out with the sweep. And insofar, he's definitely looks like he's doing the things that that need to be done. He's hitting his item timings at a fairly good rate when you consider that the team is behind 10k net worth. But yeah, that's a very big fight. They got some good kills here. And yeah, we'll see what they're able to do with that. They've still have 4 minutes of this Aegis on Nightmare that they're gonna have to endure.
And endure it, they might be able to. I mean, they put it on the Sven, not the Shadow Fiend. I'd feel like that might be a little bit of a mistake. The Sven, a lot harder to die at the moment. The Shadow Fiend has been doing a significant chunk in these fights. Now is the Hurricane Pike.
Yeah, maybe it was a little bit of a, for lack of better words, like a panic play, right? Like, it was like, hey, let's just make sure one of us each has an open slot. We'll just grab the Aegis, grab the Aghanim Shard, and make sure that we get out before the counterplay comes. Because it was a little hairy. It was kind of a split-second decision, and I mean, it ultimately, it was good. And if it came 2 seconds, 3 seconds later, that smoke play connects right at the perfect time.
Yeah. AMB though, I mean, we saw him start it in the last game. He's going nihilism again in this game. Let's see our pushes on his T2 bot side.
I like how the tooltip says does not cause Leshrac to take amplified damage.
Yes, because it doesn't.
Right. It's just fun. Yeah, Dota tooltips, they're fun.
Anyways.
Oh.
Kill on our next
Bug gets caught.
Good bushwhack. Yeah.
His game has been a lot more quiet this time, but he's hitting some good bushwhacks. He's hitting some good sharpshooters. You know, it's not on that flashy 10-1-0 or whatever it was in game 1, but all things considered, he is having a solid showing of himself.
Yep. FCR. He's got a Hyperstone coming on Courier.
Mjolnir.
Completing his Mjolnir. Okay. More attack speed, more procs. I mean, the gold lead has been increasing for Sand King Gomez, but it's been very slow to do so. The return of AMB, they have FCR kind of in good positions at the moment. He's got Satanic, he's got Basher, he's got Mjolnir. Doesn't have another item queued up yet, but I'd imagine they want to start playing around him now.
Yeah, I definitely. Sorry, I was in the middle of a yawn. I do think that they'll start looking to play behind this FCR hero a little bit more. He's hitting his timings. I think the next thing that he's going to really want to save up for is going to be buyback, as they've shown it before. This push when you have the God Strength.
Sven, Storm's Hammer out of the God Strength, picks up the kill onto the Brood Mother, and now FCR in trouble. Caught by a Chakram, cutting back down. Ooh. The Impale comes in, so does the Timber Chain. Nightmare's here, gets the Storm Hammer. He's gonna have to pop off the Battle Trance. Doesn't, gets the Satanic off in the nick of time as the Global Silence comes down. AMB doing as much damage as he can through the fight. Still has the battle trance available to him for FCR. Gets it off onto the next assassin, but the Leshrac, he's stunned up at the moment. Now the Chakram goes in onto FCR. He can't heal up nearly enough. He goes down. Hijack goes dominating. And the Chain Frost not nearly enough to save the fight. D-Flash gonna try to TP out. He does. But they lose 3 members and only kill the next assassin.
That might end up being the pivotal moment in the game. We'll have to see how the game progresses and stuff like that. You know, there's still plenty of Dota to be played. But if this game is to wrap up in the next 5 minutes, 6 minutes or so, I would say that it's largely because of that team fight there.
Bloodthorn completed on Nightmare as well.
Because I mean, I feel like you could feel it. I could definitely feel it. The momentum felt like it was starting to build for the return of A and B. They were hitting these item timings. They were starting to get their sea legs about them, and then just as they're feeling comfortable enough to start making like these big plays.
Sheepsec into the Stormhammer, and Napkin pretty much dead. One more auto attack will do it, but a good bushwhack stops him. And he's caught by the boomerang as well. Into the fear. Be God with the sharpshooter. This might be a dead Shadow Demon or Shadow Fiend. And comes the Acorn shot. Looned very low. But they still end up losing Be God. And they lose the Lich as well. AMB TPing into the fight now. Wants to find his way out of Nightmare. Pops the BKB though to get out.
Dire's top barracks are under attack. Dire are scanning.
Sand King Gomez feeling themselves right now. And I mean, it's hard to contest as to why or why not. You know, 13K net worth lead here, 35 minutes into the game, and especially after getting that really it was a shellacking in game 1. I don't know what else to call it. They really kind of got their nose shoved into the dirt there, and to come out here in this game 2 and put on a very, very impressive performance so far. It's really I'm proud of the boys. I'm proud to see it, and I'm excited to see kind of how the story continues to progress and unfold before us. Is A and B, are they able to make another return in this game and clinch the series, or are we going to go to a game 3, dude?
I mean, it's starting to look like game 3 is happening, but this happened in the semifinals too.
Right.
Although the gold lead there was 10K, now it's 14K at 36 minutes for Sand King Gomez. Remember, they're up against a Leshrac who will be able to scale late, as well as this Troll Warlord. The Leshrac is pretty much down in the dirt. This Sven has got the completed Assault Kuros right now, building in towards the Satanic. Gets it on Courier too, so now he's full build. Bloodthorn, Satanic, Blink, Boots, BKB, and an AC. 36 minutes, full build, 24 levels on a Nightmare 7. And you'd have to think, if they can't kill him, that's going to be the end of the game. And we'll go on to that game 3.
Yeah, I will say, so if they're able to make it through the next, 3 minutes to 5 minutes without giving up too much of their map left, right? Without giving up that lane of barracks, if they're able to even, in a perfect case scenario, keep this tier 2 tower up and ready, they're going to start to come back into this game, right? Because with the Shadow Fiend, with the Sven, the way that these mechanics work, they're supposed to get super far ahead.
D-Flash gets the Fear Hijack on the high ground splitter. It's going to miss. Chain Frost only lands on a Hijack. Napkin running away. BKB's through the Stormhammer. Fight resets. Nightmare, he's already popped the God Strength. The Bushwhack swings and a miss. Hijack tries to go in, but in comes the AlienManaBanana onto the backside. The Global Silence comes through the BKB, and Lund chases right back onto the Leshrac. Kills him. B-God goes down, and the Sheep Stick to kill the Troll as well. That's 3 kills for naught.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And a buyback, which that we're getting to the point in the game where these buybacks, it's not like a cute little promise ring that you got your girlfriend in middle school. They're starting to be a proper engagement ring. This is a big deal. You know, that's the next 6 minutes, 7 minutes before he's going to be able to have the buyback available again. And that was just that window that I was just talking about, right? Because these heroes, they're super far ahead right now because of the way that they're built, their kits. But you can't get much bigger than a 6 slot, a 7 slot. You simply cannot do it. So that's when these other heroes are able to catch up and start to have their return of grace. They pardon me, they can make this into a game again, but they just simply they were not able to extend it to that window. It looks like it's all really starting to unravel. They're gonna have one last defense as soon as they have the Leshrac and they have the Troll Warlord available, but there's a very real chance that they get megaed before this Troll's out here.
15 seconds on the Troll Warlord. Nightmare pops the God Strength, just trying to take down the tower. The Glyphs gets used. Impale lands on a Lich. Hijack on the back line. D-Flash tries to force Steph back onto the high ground. They pick up the next assassin, but they are megaed.
And that was such a good play. So they knew you. I just mentioned that was the objective, that they were trying to get the megas before the troll come up, and we have this like fight.
Timber Chain stopped by a Split Earth. Hijack dies. At the very least.
And so they go with the Nyx, they go with Hijack, and they run at these heroes behind their own Ancient. So they're not even able to mount a defense of their last lane of barracks. Of course, this team, they do have good ways to defend against mega creeps, so it's not like that is an insurmountable.
Keeps pump faking. The Requiem of Souls doesn't even need it. Instant buyback from the Lich. FCR is here though. Lund pumping the Requiem of Souls, gets the BKB off, but FCR, he's on to another member with the Battle Trance. BKB from Nightmare, buyback from the Silencers. FCR gets taken out, he was silenced up, couldn't get anything more off, even though he popped the Satanic, and now
if Flesh dies, it's
running
over.
away. They've got too much damage on the side of San
There it
Gomez. AMB continuing to run, but the GG's already called, and we're going to game 3.
Dire's radiant victory.
Chirping a little bit.
Game 1, Schlacking for return of AMB. Game 2, other way around for San Gomez. Only means one thing. It all comes down to game number 3. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we will have the final match of the day.
Talk to me. We'll make a new tomorrow. Talk to me.
I like your taste in tunes and everything you ooze. The tempo of your beat, you bleed a melody. No one can control that old time rock and roll. No rule of gravity. And hey, can I follow you back to your room? Watching you bloom in the light of the moon. Can I follow you back to your arms? Wash it all off in the river of your heart. There's a million different songs that I learned to sing. Watching you bloom in the light of the moon. Your loneliness will never be lost on me. So reach out and love and don't be a stranger. Don't be a stranger. Turn up the stereo, the sound is taking hold. You dance like no one sees, a private galaxy. The music of your soul, a symphony composed. Your words are wasted on me. Hey, can I follow you back to your room? Watching you bloom in the light of the moon. Can I follow you back to your arms? Wash it all off in the river of your heart. There's a million different songs that I learned to sing. Watching you bloom in the light of the moon. Your loneliness will never be lost on me. So reach out and love. Don't be a stranger. Can I follow you back to your room? Watching you bloom in the light of the moon. Can I follow you back to your arms? Wash it all off in the river of your heart. There's a million different songs that I've learned to sing. Watching you bloom in the light of the moon. Your loneliness will never be lost on me. So reach out and love and don't.
Welcome on, welcome all, and welcome back to the TD2L Division S Grand Finals for the 30th of October 2022. My name is PhiNick, joined by Rada. We are in Game 3, the final game between the return of AMB and San King Gomez. Bans thus far are not really changed from the first two games, as we see Enigma and Lone Druid banned out to start off.
Okay, so San King Gomez has the first pick this time around. So at this point, game 2, they took out the Marcy because they didn't have the 5 pick. So we'll see if the Marcy remains in the pool here. If they decide that they want to go back to the Nyx Shadow Fiend again. If the return of A and B want to try to break up that combo in some way, shape, or form.
We shall see. They are carefully considering this ban, though. Second one. What do they decide to do?
They're looking to set the tone for their draft here. I think they're debating the Marcy question.
We'll see.
I don't think that they necessarily played super duper well with the Marcy draft, but that very well could just be. So they opt to take out the A and B Leshrac, so he is going to have to play a different hero this game.
Indeed, he will. It does Return of A and B, in fact, ban out the Marcy this time around, or do they think Sand King Gomez is all bark and no bite with the lack of the ban?
10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Ban out
And
Shadow
they take out the
Fiend.
Shadow Fiend. So we're now to the point where the mini meta has evolved, right? The teams, they've got to feel each other out. They've had their little return, their punch and return punch, and now we're going to shake it up completely as they open up with the Undying. Undying does give them a little bit of a flex potential here. The hero can be played 5-4-3. Great Roshan, great fight taking ability. Also gives you some good vision with a cheekily placed tombstone as well for those fights that you don't even have to place a ward down for. Do they go with something like a Snapfire for the return of A and B?
Perhaps they could take the next assassin for themselves, potentially, if they think the pick is strong enough, or they could just pick Marcy.
Marcy
opt for the
is
Death
somebody that I
Prophet.
was thinking.
Now, is this an A and B Death Prophet, or is this a Napkin Death Prophet, do you think?
I think that's going to be open for now, and they are going to go ahead and take the Marcy. I favor the Marcy over the next assassin because with the Marcy you can ultimate and you can pound the tombstone into the ground, and as long as it's a support Marcy, you don't really mind using that spell for that utility purpose. But I don't know. The issue with the Death Prophet is it does flat damage now on the Spirit Siphon, but the Undying, if it is in the lane against it, I don't think that the Undying cares that much because with Decay, he can pretty much always just give himself a bunch of extra flat damage. So that's one of the few support heroes in the game where this the change does not necessarily benefit the Death Prophet. Typically against supports now, because they have a low health pool, the Spirit Siphon, you're dealing flat damage instead of percentage-based damage. You're able to bring these supports down to either to the point where they can't really help out in the lane anymore, or till they're in that the kill threshold, and you just crypt swarm them down.
Yeah. I mean, that's typically how you play a DP3, but I mean, for all we know, it could be an A and B DP. We don't know quite yet. Otherwise, Tiny being picked up by Sand King Gomez. This one is flexible, as Tiny pretty much always is.
However, pattern would dictate that they like to open with the A and B hero. Both games, game 1 and game 2, they first phased in the A and B hero. So if they stick to the pattern, then that would be an A and B Death Prophet.
Radiant team ban.
Bands flying out, though. Visage, Lena, Batrider, and Sniper.
Radiant team
And Meepo now, getting respect towards
Yeah.
that FCR Meepo. That was so potent in game number 1.
Not even going to let them think about it for the 18 pick. Because, I mean, that's one of those things, right? It's in the back of your brain. So that's something that you would think about in the third round of draft, or the third round of bans. So that 18 pick Meepo is definitely, it was available and it was on the board, and they don't really have a good answer to it. I mean, Avatos combo can be a bit of a nuisance, but now it's off the board. It's not something that they have to worry about. It's not something that they have to preemptively draft for.
No, it is not. Turn of AMB will ban out the Beastmaster, though.
dire team
Taking off some of the Zoo 3 potential. They're going to pick the Silencer for themselves. Silencer is a 100% win rate in this series. We'll see if they're going to make it, or if they're going to continue with that pattern. Either way, Silencer 5, most likely. And I'm right with you. I think this is probably an AMB DP, but we could be wrong there. Either way, this Tiny, still flexible. They're probably going to hold off on the flex with these 2 picks. I'd imagine they pick 3 and maybe... Ooh, probably 3-4 here, unless they think this is a Tiny 4, or they want to hold it as a Tiny 4.
They're going to be they're going to be tipping their hand a little bit here. You have to when you have the first set of picks. Going to go ahead and pick up the Drow here. Drow Undying is a very strong lane. It gives you that big beefy frontliner so that the Drow can just sit in the back line, farm where she wants, get the Frost Arrows out as she wants. That being said, if it is a Marcy DP lane, you have the rebound, so the extra movement speed, and conjoined with the Spirit Siphon, it's kind of similar to the Marcy Razor lanes, where that is you just can kind of walk the dogs, so to speak.
Pango being picked up does mean that this is well, actually, do we know if Sankin Gomez is a if we know this is a Lund hero or a hijack hero? Because that tells us where this Tiny's going. Because if it's a hijack hero, it's probably if it's a Lund, if the Pango's a Lund hero, it's Tiny Ford guaranteed. If it's a hijack hero, it could be still 2 or 4, and they could be holding off on that flex still.
Yeah, and I think that might be the reason why they opted for the Pangolier here, right? Because that gives them a little bit further option to flex the Tiny, flex the Pango, and you are going to get to see one more pick before you have to lock in your lineup and fully decide and dedicate what heroes are going to what lane. I will say that the Pangolier on the Dire side of the map is significantly worse than the Pangolier on the Radiant side. The last time that I looked at Dota 2 Pro Tracker, it was like a 64% win rate on the Radiant side of the map for the Pangolier, whereas on the Dire side, it was only about 58, 57%. So there is a significant advantage to having the Pangolin on the Radiant side of the map over the Dire, but it could ultimately, at the end of the day, be enough.
Yep.
I don't know the mechanic off the top of my head, but I do not believe the Global Silence will stop a Rolling Thunder. If you're in the Rolling Thunder, I think you continue to roll around in your ball.
Yes, you do continue to roll around in the ball, and it's a Napkin Legion Commander, which means this is for sure A and B Death Prophet. You have
So
to pick
the pattern
FCR
sticks?
hero. Bloodseeker banned off the table because they want to keep the Pango counter away. I got one more ban to protect this Pango, Drow Ranger, because Brewmaster gets banned out by return of A and B, so they do think this is a mid Pango, perhaps.
Yeah, and they took out the Brew in the late stage of the draft. I believe the third phase last time around as well. So these teams, they definitely seem to be, and I've noticed this as a caster studying drafts at pretty much all levels of Dota. There are patterns that exist. These teams, they do have a way that they like to approach drafts, a way that they like to do things. That doesn't mean that there's not an anomaly to the rules. But like I pointed out in the both games previous, they opened with the A and B hero in the first phase of picks. Game number 3, they opened with the A and B hero in the first phase of picks.
Yeah.
These teams, they know these patterns better than we do because they have done research. They've looked at their Dota buffs. You know, they know kind of the heroes that they're playing at this current point in time. And if you can figure out the way that the other team thinks about Dota, then you're in a beautiful position to win the game.
I'll see if they're going to be able to leverage that or not. They have banned away 2 threes from Return of A and B, banning out the Timbersaw as well. Sankin Gomez ban out the Bloodseeker, as already mentioned, and the Life Stealer. Of course, Life Stealer being a pick we've seen quite a bit at T High. Matumba Man being very good on that pick. We'll see what exactly to decide to pick for FCR, but this pick determines where that Tiny's going and where that Pango's going. Sankin Gomez, 15 seconds left.
I really wouldn't mind them going with a Necrophos here. Putting the Necro in the off lane.
Yeah. Good against the Legion Commander. Instead, they opt for the Night Stalker. So it saves the Pango mid.
That's fine as well. Yeah. So with the Night Stalker, that's going to give them ability 1. It gives a tremendous vision boost. Ooh, that's a good answer.
Yeah, but now Return of A and B, they're on a time bomb. Or not really time bomb, they have to snowball, right? You have Nagasire and you have Legion Commander up against a Drow Ranger plus a Pangolier, right? So if you don't snowball on this Naga and you don't snowball on this Legion, this could be very dicey for Return of A and B, because Death Prophet is very good, but she still needs his team to support her in fights.
So we were having a chat before we got into this draft for game number 3. And we both backed different teams. You liked the return of A and B. I liked Sankin Gomez coming into this third game. And I think that both drafts, they fit the niche that I was discussing with you before we got into it. A and B, they seem to like these chaos-causing drafts where it's just pandemonium all across the map. They 100% have the ability to do so. They just have to pull the correct threads so you actually, unwind the ball. Whereas Sand King Gomez, they seem to prefer these kind of, I don't know if static is necessarily the word, but much more controlled, steady fights, steady comps, and then they just kind of they hit their timings and they take objectives and they do it in a methodical fashion. And I think they definitely have the setup to do it. So with this draft, with the Sand King Gomez, you have the Night Stalker versus Day Stalker era, right? So you have that clear window. Like this is the time where we take fights. This is the time where we take objectives. And then you also with the Pangolier, you have somebody that can kind of cause disruption and cause noise. You have this Night Stalker, you have the Pangolier, and all of this is going to enable your Drow Ranger to just sit in the back line and just shoot the hell out of everybody.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah, I think Sand King Gomez definitely has their clear win conditions, but as mentioned, the chaos causing from Return of A and B, if they can snowball this Naga lane or this Legion lane or both, I mean, Napkin looked very good on the pick again, number one, then it could be just as quickly over for Sand King Gomez as FCR did very well in the Illusion Hero game number one. Was going to play it again, game number two, this time Naga instead of Meepo. And Napkin, I'm excited to see this Legion Commander. It's into a tougher lane. You're into a Drow Ranger Undying, but you knew that going in. And they're going to make use of this Legion Commander as best they can. No cheeky First Bloods, though, from Sand King Gomez. They will not catch anyone on this side of the map.
I think the big difference between this game and game number one with the LC is the LC is a direct counter to really anything in this game. Like, yes, she's nice to get to the back lines, to be able to get on top of the Undying, get on top of the Drow Ranger. Maybe if you're able to catch the Pango before he starts to before he gets the shield crash and the Rolling Thunder off. Like there are routes and roles that this Legion can fulfill. Quick fingers, it's gonna go to Pamplona down at the bottom lane.
Yep, 2 runes apiece.
And he gives him a tip for the quick fingers.
Yeah, but still, he's blaming Ping, FCR. Of course,
Yeah.
of course. That's why you missed
160 says Pamplona.
170 XD. I think now they're one-upping on how much ping they have.
E-peen contest.
Something like
Get
that.
the yardstick.
But regardless, Nogus Iron got that ever important mirror image in level 1, and we'll just do as Naga do up against this Night Stalker lane, who during the daytime doesn't feel particularly great.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna have a very real. He stands the chance to be a very serious problem for this team, right? Once he gets that shard, he's going to be able to go onto the back lines, either be able to bring down the Marcy or bring down the Silencer, preferably probably the Silencer pre-global silence, and then he can just go and eat a creep, and he's just walking around with the cheese at all times, really.
Yeah, it's very potent, as well as just the vision you get off of the Dark Ascension as well. In team fights becomes very important. Unobstructed vision from the point of the Night Stalker flying high above everything else. But FCR with the drag back will hit a nice level 2. Both supports on level 1 on the bot side. Meanwhile, top side, lane has been pushed by Napkin and by B-God, as B-God got a long drag back to get his level 2 early. Rebound forward. Lands on a 2. And then the dispose. Nameless gets the tombstone out. Is he going to be able to survive? I don't think he is. One more tower shot will do it. But Napkin,
He'll do it.
He's getting hit by the frost arrows, and Nightmare
That's
should
first
be able
blood.
to pick it up. Nameless Gets it off the zombies. Oh no, it looked like such a good play from B-God, but it got turned right around and Nameless survived by the skin of his
bot.
teeth. Meanwhile, bot side, as you mentioned, D-Flash in trouble. He's taken down, and it's 2 kills to Sand King Gomez to start off the game.
And this is a good start for Sand King Gomez. And for SKG, I think that the first 20-25 minutes of this game is really going to tell all. How much of the map are they able to restrict from the FCR Naga before the Naga is able to get the 2 item timing, 3 item timing, where the Naga just becomes this unkillable mass.
Or unkillable masses.
Right,
Yep.
because those illusions, they can absolutely if she gets big, if she reaches that critical mass before they're really properly able to deal with her, this Tiny can be walked down by Naga illusions. The Undying can be walked down by Naga illusions. The hero doesn't even have to be there.
Yeah. Meanwhile, in mid lane, though, it's going pretty well for the return of AMB, and by return of AMB, I mean AMB himself. Up quite a bit of CS on Lund, 18-7 to 14 and 1. Pangolier, I mean, as a mid laner, has been relatively strong in lane, but unfortunately, just the sheer right click of the Death Prophet is a little bit too much for the Pango at this stage in the game.
Well, couldn't even get away with a swashbuckle.
Yep. That was a big trade, in fact, Fairy Fire, but gets out. Now Pamplona TPing in. A point in Avalanche.
He does have Avatos.
Decides not to go for the toss, though.
I think he was worried about the creep.
Dire's courier has been killed.
B-God gets a courier, as is tradition. And Nameless with the clarity. Instead of the I mean, he has 6 mangoes. I mean, this is the Insania Undying special. I mean, it's not just Insania, it's just the Undying special at the moment, but it's very fun. You know, it's I think it's great that there's a hero that can take his ultimate at level 2. It's amazing. Such great balance, Valve.
Hey man, you're able to take meta at level 1.
I mean, that's true. Terrorblade gets his ultimate at level 1. Undying gets... Well, but Undying has 2 ultimates, though.
Yeah. I mean, Sunder's a pretty fucking powerful spell, dude, if you use that at the right time.
Yeah, but it's not as big as Flesh Golem, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, that could just be because I feel like the Undying's a bit more meta right now than the Terrorblade is.
A bit more,
So
I
it
think, would
looks
be
better.
a bit of an understatement. Either way, the lanes, despite the 2 kills going over to SKG, the lanes are, in fact, favoring return of AMB, except for this top lane, which has pretty much gone even. Pamplona roaming mid alongside D-Flash. B-God is here. And I've popped the EXO as well. I want Pamplona. Avo stops the Spirit Siphon from following up. We're going to keep chasing. Rebound forward.
Rebound.
And that is a dead Pamplona. Dispose. Toss out. But the ghosts from the EXO get the kill. And now AMB sees a stack. He's going to take the stack.
And he's going to leave the one little giant wolf.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah,
So no camp can be respawned. That's that little shit that high level players do as a min-max.
Avatos in a swashbuckle, though. B-God dies mid lane. As Napkin building in towards his Blink Dagger after phases.
I feel like it was only 3 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes in game 1, and he would have had the Blink Dagger like 2 or 3 minutes from now. I think it was at the 9-minute, 10-minute mark.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the lane that's going even. The other 2 lanes are smashing right now. 44 and 13 on the Naga Siren to a 23 and 2. I say that as Hijack says it. Oh, it's nighttime. I must kill. But
Yeah.
to a 24 and 2 Hijack feels really good for FCR at the moment. And AMB 36 and 11 to 32 and 2. It's not nearly as smashing, but still feels pretty good if you're Return of AMB right now. Have a bit of a gold lead.
Smoke play going to the bot.
Yep.
And they have found FCR.
Yep, Avatos into the Rolling Thunder. FCR, no way out. Gonna try to mirror image, though, but in comes a Swashbuckle, and Hijax gets the kill.
That's again, dude. This is so Sand King Gomez. They've really impressed me over the course of this series. The way that they will happily eat their shots if that's what it takes to get
Tombstone
them.
used top side, but they got the rebound on a Nightmare. No healing from Nameless will be good enough. We'll trade back onto the Death Prophet, or onto the, Legion Commander, though. Toss, Avo, lands onto B-God, but in comes the Exorcism, and the Tombstone is dead. Nameless ends up falling to AMB. And they're going to EXO onto this T1 tower on the top side.
Middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, they are taking a little bit of damage onto the tower in the mid lane from Lund.
Dire structures are fortified.
And now the DPs. Oh no, that's actually Napkin who's TPing in.
Yep.
But yeah, dude. So SKG, man, they wait, they find their spots, they pick their shots, and then they take them. And I think that's something that's 100% is you're gonna have to be able to do to prove successful against this Naga. You can't just run in all willy nilly, jumping
Avo.
about nimbly bimbly.
Toss right back into Nameless. Rolling Thunder here. Napkin going to try to dodge away from the Pango, but Pamplona proving to body block at the moment. Lund's coming up. Looks for a shield crash. Ops against it. B-God is here. So is AMB. They don't have EXO. And they don't get a kill onto that Legion Commander despite using the Rolling Thunder. Playing towards the bot rune. Avo stopped
DD.
by the silence. And the DD rune gets bottled by AMB. He's going to go ahead and pop it. They're going to move on to this tower. B-God is here as well. Nameless moving up. Has the no, does not have the tombstone available.
No, he just placed it. I like the physical location where he placed it, but I don't like the situation in which he placed it. I feel like it was a bit too reactionary.
Yeah, need to be more proactive on the tombstones. On such a proactive hero like the Undying still. Two of the top three cores right now are Return of AMB, though the bottom core is Napkin. Keeping pace with his counterpart in the Night Stalker, though. Of Hijack.
Yep, back to Daystalker hours. And so he's going to opt to go for this BKB.
Highway dispose, goes into the Flesh Golem. TP income from Lund, gets the Swashbuckle. Shield crash onto D-Flash. Pump fakes the Rolling Thunder, but doesn't even need it for the double kill. Kills two supports, but Napkin gets out. Meanwhile, EXO, pop mid. Nameless TP's in. I don't think he has a whole lot that he can do here. Get Spirit Siphons, but the EXO should be enough for the tower. He's going to try to continue to move forward. Another Spirit Siphon on Nameless. He nearly goes down to the Crypt Storm, but does go down to the EXO. Nightmare is right in the winks, though, and picks up the kill on AMB.
That's, again, just picking your shots. Choosing what to lose for what you're gaining.
TP's coming bot side, though. AMB, they don't want to take that sitting down. Hijack has the Dark Ascension. Like Fort. I'm going to hold off now. Pamplona looks for the Avo. Doesn't have enough for the toss, though. Supports are here. B-God looks for the way in. Does get it. The stun lands. Gets silenced up, but there's not a whole lot Hijack can do against the Unleash of B-God. And another dispose on a Pamplona. He is not long for the world. Other silenced up by AMB, and B-God gets the double kill.
So that crippling fear, while it was able to delay the death of the Night Stalker, it really just ended up setting up the death of the Tiny as well, because the dispose was still in the pocket of B-God.
Yeah, didn't even need the dispose to get the kill. Nice rebound. I mean, B-God looking very good on this Marcy pick. As He's been on that hoodwink all day, but or all night, all series. But and Marcy, still a very good hero, sitting 3, 2, and 1 on it. And A and B, I mean, he's made it through the landing phase, now slightly ahead of the Pangolier, about 400 gold, and building in towards that Blink Dagger after the Yules.
Yeah, insofar, this Drow Ranger is able to keep relatively close to this, to the Naga Siren. He's never going to actually be able to, or he shouldn't really be able to, like, keep up and outfarm a Naga just by the nature of the kits of the heroes. But, him being able to stay within this 1,000 mark, if he's able to stay within this 1K mark, I think that, SKG will be in a really good position.
And they are getting the vision onto the AMB, return of AMB jungle. Meanwhile, they found a duel on the Pango. In comes the Exorcism, the Global Silence over the top as well.
What a fight.
Double Spirit Siphon, and AMB gets a double kill. They're on a Pamplona now. Not a whole lot he can do against the Crypt Swarm. Triple kill for AMB, and now blink forward from Napkin. They want to find their way on a Nightmare. Only has a Dragonlance to his name, and in comes B-God with the rebound silence to follow up into the Dispose. And AMB gets an ultra kill at 14 minutes. Huge fight, and FCR
didn't even have to be there. So now that's the Manta style complete on this Naga, and already now that lead difference, we're at 1,600. It'll be close to 2K, I believe.
Oh no!
Yep, there it is. It's gonna be close to 2K the difference
mid,
by the time.
Alongside the Rolling Thunder, Lund really wants to find his way on to AMB. B-God running away from fight. Self-fuels from AMB, though, as the Rolling Thunder ends. The Swashbuckle does quite a bit of damage, and the shield crash, good enough, but the press the attack from Napkin comes back in. He wants to get the duel into Lund. He, in fact, gets the victory, and in comes B-God. Huge rebound, gets the stun on to Hijack, but he's now on to Napkin. Napkin goes down. Nameless might be the trade, though, as in comes FCR off the TP. Gets a little bit of healing, but it's not enough, and FCR picks up the kill. Bloody fight in the mid lane. Both teams end up getting 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it was that was such a big fight in the initial situation, right? And then we tried to get a little bit of a return play going on. They were able to bring down A and B, but all of that time, again, FCR is just getting space for days, and now he's more than 2K up on this Naga Siren, up on the Drow Ranger, working his way towards the Orchid. And this net worth difference, it's going to be very hard to get it back lower, because the Naga, she's starting to be up in full. The factory is up and running. PhiNick is what I'm trying to say.
Yep, smoke out from return of AMB. They want more. Napkin's got another duel. He's got 2 duel victories thus far. They find Nameless. Blink duel. Nameless has nowhere to run. B-God ends up stealing the kill away from the Legion Commander.
Up top. Oh no.
FCR. Global Silence helps kill the Pango.
I honestly think he killed the Pango without the Global Silence. I think he was just able to solo kill that boy. And the Global was just kind of just in case. And this is kind of starting to look like a bit of a carbon copy of the first map in this series, right? Like we said, return of A and B. They like these choppy, chippy, nasty little games.
Pushing on the high ground, he's silenced up. Pops into the Yule Scepter. Silenced once again by the Drow Ranger. Goes down.
Good kill.
There's a good kill, and in comes the Dark Ascension.
Oh, there it is. The mental warfare is going to begin, dude.
Oh, it's hip A and B. I mean, pushing up on the high ground on your own, that does net Roshan going over to Sand King Gomez.
They scan it out, though. They know.
Really I mean, Song of the Siren is up. For this Naga Siren, they might want to play Disruption and put some illusions into the pit. They know Roche is being taken. Played up on the high ground. Roche doesn't go down that quickly. Big press the attack. Gets the damage that needs to go, but they're onto the Mercy already. And the Rolling Thunder comes back out of the pit. Lund picks up one kill and the other one goes, but the Song of the Siren is here from FCR. AMB respawning, but they have to TP out. They lost both supports. And Roshan will go over to SKG.
So that's what I thought they were trying to do. They were hoping to wait until they had the EXO back and respawn with the Death Prophet, and they just were not quite able to do it. You can see they kept trying to send illusions in to see how much health was there on the Roshan, and they did a great job on SKG of playing prevent defense and not allowing them those opportunities. Didn't allow them to see how much health the Roshan had to decide, okay, we're going to have to go before.
Link dual bot side, though. Ends up another kill for AMB. Pops the EXO for it, too.
And this is so we're hitting close to that point that I talked about at the beginning of this game, right? At that 25 minute mark, how much of the map have you been able to restrict from the Naga Siren? The answer, next to none. And this is why we see this Naga Siren at 12,000. She's 4K up on this Drow Ranger.
Yep.
There's a 5K net worth difference, and essentially all of it is sitting on the mammoth shoulders of this Naga Siren.
Yep. Orchid Malevolence for FCR building into the heart of Tarask as well. This is going to be
that's
very
the point
big
where
Naga.
that's the point where it's pretty much over.
Finds the enemy pos 1 and the Aegis. Still getting the dual victory damage from that as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's actually huge for Napkin. Getting the Aegis off the map.
Oh yeah, because that Aegis was going to be used as like a stalling controlling Aegis.
Smoke out. SKG only on a hijack though. So they just roll on through.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Pretty close game. Gaben agrees. 67% is the win probability favored currently for the side of return of AMB. Who's
Gaben
looking
doesn't
to
like
return
Naga
with a
Siren.
splash.
Yaven does not like Naga Siren. But he also doesn't like Alchemist, and he also doesn't like Doom, so go figure. Fast farming cores, not Gaben's strong suit. DD bottled for AMB, about to get BKB, only about 300 gold off.
He's getting so close to this heart.
Yeah, that's such
I'm
a big
getting
item.
so scared for SKG.
He's got the Reaver, about 30 gold off of the health orb, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think
Vitality booster.
Oh.
Well, they find a silencer top side.
That is a nice little kill. No buyback, so he can't buy back global if they're able to find a follow-up engagement here. We'll see if they're actually able to do that.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So far, the return of A and B are playing very disciplined Dota. While they play this chaos-inducing style, they themselves play it with control, and they're showing exactly that right now.
And they just need to keep playing controlled. 8k gold lead at the moment. Gotta keep snowballing. This Legion Commander, now 4th most farmed core in the game after being the poorest core for a long time. Now only behind the Drow Ranger from the enemy team.
God, only like 800 gold away from this VIP booster. And he already has the recipe on the courier.
Yep, 600 gold. Towards his hard to Tarask, and then it's going to be game time for return of AMB.
Yeah, and not only is it going to be game time. I mean, look at they're already they can't deal with these illusions. This is pre Heart of Tarask. It's
so difficult to kill.
It really is. The 24 pick Naga. Oh, surely that's another duel.
Yep.
112 damage in the pocket of the LC now. I tell you, Napkin, he's had a really good game, really good showings.
Hijack has to pop the BKB, tries to get out. He ends up falling as the EXO gets the T2. Now, AMB running in onto Lund. Won't be able to find him though. Ghost's not getting away. The harder task is now completed.
Oh dear.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
A and B with a late tip onto hijacks.
Gotta play the mental game, you know? This is OG, by the way.
Yep.
Maybe not.
No, and that's so. This is what I was trying to what I was alluding to. I don't know if these guys are in the same area as like the LVD guys, but those Venezuelan fellows, they knew that A and B was prone to tilting, so they would tip him. They would play all of these mental warfare games, but unfortunately, sometimes that just you're just poking the beehive, you know, and that's what it seems like they've done here in this game 3. They pulled those tips out, trying to tilt A and B, start to push him down that mountain, snowball it into a big problem, and now instead it's just locked him in, laser focused, laser sights. Let's fucking get this game. Let's win. Let's get that paycheck.
And we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. Now 12k net worth advantage at 24 minutes. Pretty good 500 gold per minute lead for the return of AMB. 138 until the next possible roast spawn. We'll see how quick it is.
And the scary thing, right? The scary thing for this net worth differentiality now is when a couple of minutes ago, when it was like a 5k net worth difference, 6k net worth difference, a large bit of that difference could be explained away with the difference between the Naga Siren and the Drow, right? This 12k net worth difference cannot be explained by the Naga factor. This team, Return of A and B, the Radiant side, they are simply ahead of the team of Sand King Gomez.
Yeah, and they could lose pretty much any member of their team except for FCR and still be at least dead even in terms of gold with Sand King Gomez in a fight.
Yeah.
So just remember, 4v5 might actually be pretty even for Return of AMB if FCR is a part of it.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just now he's able to set up in the dojo, and he's just sending out all of these illusions, cutting out the waves, farming up all of the jungle. You can see pretty much the entirety of SKG is just living in the Dire Triangle. Living in the Dire Triangle, you have Lund up in the top lane trying to keep that top lane tower safe and okay. And he left for just a second, and now he's going to have to go right back because he sees the Naga illusions in that lane.
Return of AMB. Waiting for the next rush to spawn. 10 seconds until the earliest possible spawn. We'll see how quick it is. As FCR about to complete the Aghanim Scepter. About 200 gold off of that one. Roche will be a quick spawn. 4 seconds.
Oh dear.
If
Dude, I'm telling you, the Dota
out,
gods. The Dota gods just love
Napkin's
Return of
gonna
A and
check.
B. He's
oh,
walking
they
in.
know exactly what's going on. They know exactly that Roche is a quick spawn. Hasterin bottled up by Lund, but SKG is nowhere near, and they have no idea that this is happening.
I genuinely don't think that there's an answer, even if they knew.
Yep. Gonna pop the Exo to get this Aegis as well. Shard probably should go on AMB, I'd have to imagine, although FCR is a 1, and 1's like their shards. Yep, Shard does go on to AMB. To be expected from the DP as Aegis goes on FCR.
So you see, the difference is the Naga Shard, that just heals his own teammates. He's not interested in that one. If it gave him damage, if it let him kill somebody, then like, fuck yeah, no, give me that, that's mine, fuck you. But this one, it just helps his teammates.
If I'm playing Death Prophet, the only one that I want, or like Leshrac, the only ones that I think are acceptable to steal Shard away from, or to not steal Shard away from, to steal the Shard away from me are Ursa and Ursa.
Radiant's bottom tower
And
Ursa seems great.
And Ursa. Yeah.
Oh, don't forget about Ursa.
That's literally because Ursa never buys Shard because he's almost guaranteed second Roche every time.
Right.
So.
Oh dear. It's like a death by 1,000 cuts, isn't it?
That is what Naga, fighting against the Naga is like. Looking towards the Bloodthorn now is FCR.
Deadly swift.
As we are up to a 15K net worth lead here for the side of Return of AMB, and they're doing a wonderful job of just keeping their feet on the
Smoke
throats of SKG.
Might find Hijack. He does have the
They
ultimate.
know where the
Actually
drow
spot
is.
Nightmare. Napkin, he sees him up on the high ground. Doesn't want to blink for it, though. Nightmare. Oh, they were baiting. They got the pop of the Lincoln Sphere, and now the duel comes through. They got the kill with the Global Silence on top. Down goes the Drow. Down goes the Tiny. And the tips come out.
Dire's middle tower is
Do your thing, bro. Yeah,
They were
you know
like,
what I'm
oh, we're not
saying?
going to blink on you. No, they knew about the Lincoln Sphere. They got the Lincolns pop out. An immediate blink duel showing their hand.
Dire's middle tower.
As well played from the return of AMB. They're going to push onto these T3s now.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
It just shouldn't even be fair, man. Just watch him make 8 of himself. Just cutting all the waves, keeping all the pressure in the world. Like,
Dire's top tower.
if this hero did this every single game, then like it should be like reworked and taken out of the fucking game of Dota.
Nope.
But this is just a hell of a game
Dual
from
bot
FCR.
side onto a flesh golem, Nameless. He does survive, though, but he should end up falling. Tries to tree dodge, though. Napkin running forward.
There it is.
Auto attack. There we go. Yeah. That overwhelming odds does quite a bit of damage. I keep calling it press the attack for some reason. Press the attack's the dispel. Overwhelming odds is the AoE.
Yeah. Just
I don't
caster
play
brain
this.
things.
I don't play this hero. All right, that's
Yeah,
my
fuck
excuse.
that hero.
I play heroes that get countered by Legion Commander. I play Bristleback. You know what's worse? You know what sucks is Bristleback when your back isn't turned to the enemy because they have a Legion Commander.
Yeah,
All right,
that's true. That's pretty suboptimal.
Either way, 18K, 30 minutes into the game. 3 of the top 4 cores are the return of AMB. This Naga Siren just absolutely massive gold lead on FCR just on his own. He's got the completed Bloodthorn now. A minute left on the Aegis of the Immortal. Well, they're playing measured right now. Gonna look for, I'd have to imagine another smoke, but I actually don't have one.
Only got a minute left on this Aegis. I would like to see them try to make a play with it of some form or fashion, even if it just feels like you're trying to force something here, because you're so far ahead on all of these heroes. I don't think that they can kill this Naga twice, even if they wanted to, even if she was the last hero on the map.
35 seconds on this Aegis. They're going to look for the fight
Oh,
now. They
no.
spot out Nightmare. They spot out Nameless. Get the Tombstone out. In comes Pamplona with a Blink Dagger as
look
Hijack
at this.
comes in with the Dark Ascension, but B-God's already on the backside of the fight. The BKBs keep getting popped from Nightmare and B-God, but B-God, he's a little bit deep. In comes Lund with the Rolling Thunder as they try to reset the fight with the Swashbuckle coming back out. FCR, 14 seconds left on the Aegis. Now, in comes AMB, blinks forward with the duel coming in from the position 3 as well. Like, keep on diving past this T2. 3 seconds left on the Aegis of the Immortal. It will be reclaimed. FCR, though, he doesn't care. He ends up getting 1 kill, and in comes the Song of the Siren. Just stops everything in its track. The buyback comes in from the Pangolier, but in comes B-God off the fight. Goes down very low. Is he going to be able to survive? I don't think he is, as FCR finds his way on a Nightmare 7. Gets the kill. AlienManaBanana on a mega kill streak. They push past the T3s with the Exorcism. Triple kill AMB. And Pamplona will trade on a B-God, but that's all she wrote for this game. GG's not called yet. But you'd have to imagine they can go for the GG push. No buybacks available except for the Night Stalker as the Ultra Kill gets completed for AMB.
Naga living in the base already.
Dire's middle barracks.
Looks like they're going to opt to try and get Megas
Oh, they
over
coulda
going
GG
for the
pushed.
throne push.
Ah,
Dire's top
come on, where's the hyphy GG push? I already called the game in your favor, AMB.
barracks are under attack.
He said, don't get ahead of yourself, laddie. We're not risking this payday for nothing. We're not getting caught out.
Bottom barracks are under attack.
No.
And this is beautiful. So
They will get these
the first
megas.
game.
Oh, Sheepstick.
Dire's middle
On to Nightmare 7. Napkin pops the BKB. He's going to go ahead and grab the Megas now. As FCR just deletes the Tombstone from the face of the earth. Nightmare, and comes Pamplona, gets the toss, but it's onto an illusion. And FCR stays alive. The silence comes in from Nightmare 7. AMB pops the BKB. They're going to try to get the duel onto this Night Stalker. The rebound comes in for the extra stun. B-God with the kill, and now the blink. Napkin onto the Tiny. He goes down, lands in with the Rolling Thunder now off the respawn, and the buyback comes in immediately into the Dark Ascension from this Night Stalker. The Rolling Thunder doing what it can, but in comes the Song of the Siren, stuns up everybody, and they're able to reset the fight. They pop the Lincoln Sphere off of
This is
Nightmare. He
over.
goes down. Then B-God stays alive. GG's called. And the return of AMP are your champions for the weekend's tournament.
What a game for return of A and B. And this is just such a so the first game, it was chaos, complete chaos, right? Game number 2, SKG come out and they control the game. They come in with this just this otherworldly poise. They pick their shots, they pull the thread at the right points, and the yarn is no longer a clue of yarn. It's just now just a string, right? They just pulled it, they tracked it exactly back where they wanted to. In game 3, return of A and B comes in with controlled chaos. They come in, and not only do they create all the pandemonium that they did in game 1, they did it in the right timings. They picked, they waited, they used the Aegises for the correct reasons. We saw them hit their timing. You mentioned, oh yeah, it looks like the Naga, she completed her item, she's going for the heart next. Next time I look at the Naga, literally already has the Reaver in the backpack, dude. Like, they just played so damn well in this series. B-God had another wonderful showing on this Marcy. The first 2 games, he was on the Hoodwinked. But this game, it has to be the Naga Siren who is the MVP. I don't see anybody else.
Yeah, just amazing play coming out from FCR for both game 1 on that Meepo and then game 3 on the Niagara Siren. That said, it's all the time we have for tonight's broadcast. This is a bi-monthly tournament, so tune in next time as we're going to get some more action for TD2L. But until then, my name's been PhiNick, that's been Rada, and we'll see you around.
Give